Even over here on this side of the pond, we recognise that Detroit is the spiritual home to anyone whose communion wine is petrol and whose heart beats like a big, lumpy, wet V8. Which is why this week, and it's long overdue, the Grand Tour is off to the Motor City with an idea. Of course, the whole world knows that Detroit is now a shadow of its former self. But we also know that efforts are being made to bring life back to the ruins, with urban farms. Local people are being encouraged to grow kale and beans and seeds in plots like this, where houses and businesses once stood. It breaks your heart. I mean, this is Detroit. It shouldn't be a help-yourself pop-up street allotment for organic vegan peace hippies, when it could be a pulsating playground for the petrol head. It has the roads. It has the space. It was built by the rumble of a V8, and it should rumble to that sound once more. So that's what we've come here to do. Make some noise. Toys we'll be using. 3 American muscle cars, all of which have been tuned to a tire-shredding DEFCON 1. I have the Ford Mustang RTR Spec 3. Mr. Slowly has what's called the Exorcist. And it is whining Dodge Challenger Demon. Hammond has an erection.
I just can't get over James May is the Exorcist.
I am surprised to see you two so upbeat about this trip.
Why do you say that?
Well, you're always saying how much you don't like muscle cars.
Yeah, I just say that to annoy you.
All right.
Nobody intelligent admits that they like muscle cars, but secretly, deep down, everybody does. They're like power rock ballads. I mean, if you're driving along with friends and Don't Stop Believing by Journey comes on the radio, you say, this is rubbish, and you huff and puff and turn it off. If you're on your own and it comes on, you turn it up and you sing along. You do.
Chaps, did you know mine only comes with 1 seat as standard?
Really?
What?
As standard, you get 1 seat in a Demon. You can opt to have the others put back in, and it costs you $1.
Which seat do they put in as standard?
Eventually, we decided to pull over in our motoring theme park to see which of our fairground muscle rides would be the fastest in a street drag race. So, what I'm thinking is, here, when the lights go green, down, what's a quarter of a mile, just beyond the church?
Yeah, something like that.
Perfect.
What if the police come?
Well, he won't, he's in Beverly Hills. I've seen the movie.
Why can't we just do this on a racetrack or a runway like we usually do?
Because we're here to prove that this is a racetrack.
Detroit is empty now and should just be used for this sort of thing.
Yes, but it isn't a real race. It's an actual race.
No, it is.
It is.
This is where the muscle car was born.
I can't
It's a
do it.
Why can't you do it?
Because Dodge only lent me that car if I promised not to do any drag racing on the road with it.
What?
But it is.
That's what it's for.
I know.
It's literally what it's for.
Yes, I know, but that's the way it is. I'm sorry.
Do you think it's an insurance?
It is. It's because it's
No,
him.
it's
because
not.
They don't want it on the roof.
Who's driving it? Richard Hammond.
You can't drive it.
It's just what they said, and I'm really sorry, so we can't do it. I'm sorry.
We can.
We're not going to do it without that.
Let me think. Yeah, we are. Just
Really
right
gonna-
the way. Right the way off.
One for all and all for yourselves. That's how
Yep.
it goes, isn't it?
Having decided to make the doorway of a barber shop the finishing line, James and I prepared for the race. I'm only doing this to annoy Hammond. I mean, I can't possibly win. Yes, I've got a supercharged V8, but it only produces 720 horsepower. That's 280 less than the Exorcist.
I don't want to sound like you, but the launch control in this car is so complicated. There's a YouTube video about it, and I have watched it, but I've forgotten. Why don't we have a gentleman's agreement and not use launch control?
Well, that might save my clutch. So, yes, right, we won't use launch control. I've got a manual gearbox.
You can both do it naked for all I care. Just get on with it.
Ooh, look at Captain Cheerful over there. Finally, I waved the white flag. And then we took a closer look at the savage beating heart of the Exorcist. And that's a standard Corvette engine, basically,
Z06, yep.
with a supercharger plonked on the top. That's there, yes?
Yes,
Yeah.
2.9 litre supercharger.
So the bit they've bolted to your engine is bigger than most European engines.
Yes.
So's the one on mine. It's 2.7 litres.
Yeah, not as big. The point is, Hammond, this is the Exorcist. The job of the Exorcist is to vanquish the demon.
It's like, you remember in the 60s, I think, Di Tommaso made a car called the Mangusta, which is Italian for mongoose.
Yes, and a mongoose can kill a cobra, can't it?
That's why they did it.
Yes, but this hasn't vanquished the demon. It hasn't beaten it.
Tell you what, why don't you find a racetrack or a runway somewhere, okay? I'll gracefully bow out, and we can have a race between good and evil.
We shall pick that up later on, but now it is time to drop the car keys of chat down the drain of debate on Conversation Street.
That's all real. I don't know. I can't remember.
Can I just begin by saying that I think the very concept of incongruity was defined in that film in Detroit by James May, the slowest moving man in history, driving around in a car called The Exorcist.
Yeah, it just doesn't work, does it? James May is the exorcist.
No, I mean, if he's going to have a car, it should be called The Florist.
Yeah. Or the organist.
Simple change to that. The Onanist.
Nice.
I think the Onanist would work well.
Have you quite finished?
Yeah, good. Actually, I'd like to talk about Motor City. More specifically, what's happening to it?
I'll tell you what's happening to it. It is being slowly ruined by vegetabilists.
Oh, God.
It is.
Look, there are 2 million acres of land in Detroit, OK? Would anybody like to guess how many acres have been given over to allotments? 6. I'll tell you, it's 3.
3 acres.
3 acres.
And he's driven over 2 of them.
Exactly.
Yes, and rightly so. It's like cancer.
It's not like cancer.
It is. It's like saying if you said I've got 2 billion cells in my body and only 3 are cancerous, so I shall do nothing. You don't. You cut them out.
Yeah, but cancer is a serious threat to your health.
Well, so are vegetables.
You do know you're mad.
No,
don't
I tell you what I'm mad about. I'm mad as hell about Detroit. Because in 1960, that was the richest city in America, the richest. And now it is the poorest. And no other city anywhere in the world has collapsed that quickly.
What about Hiroshima?
Apart from Hiroshima.
Pompeii.
Yes, apart from Hiroshima and Pompeii, no city has collapsed as fast as Detroit has. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's incredible the scale of it. There used to be 43 car factories in Detroit. 43. Now, 2.
know.
Just 2.
Yeah. I actually think it's because America won the war, which, weirdly...
Vietnam?
Really?
No, I was lying. They lost that one.
Oh, Not in all the films, they didn't.
No, they won in the films, but actually, when you add up all the battles they won, weirdly, they lost the war.
Did they?
Incredible, yeah.
No, I'm actually talking about World War II, because at the end of that, Japan had lost its empire, so it lost all its resources, so they were forced to make compact, economical, efficient cars. And then the oil crisis hit in 1973, and the Americans, with their big V8s, were forced to buy small, compact, economical cars from Japan, and then realised they were better.
No, I think it's because American cars are too cheap.
Too cheap.
It's a business thing. That's the problem.
Sorry, everyone, I fear we are about to get an economic lecture from Chancellor Hammond here.
Well, no.
The other Chancellor Hammond.
No, you are. Now, concentrate. Let me put this into context for you. A lot of supercars have arrived on the scene recently. I've got pictures of them. This is the McLaren Speedtail. That's 1,000 horsepower.
Yeah.
Cost £2.1 million.
And its wheels are odd.
Yeah, they are. They don't match. This is the Aston Martin Valkyrie. That's 1,000 horsepower again. £2.5 million. This one, that's the Ferrari FXXK Evo. 1,000 horsepower, £3.5 million.
Best looking Ferrari of all time,
It
then.
does look amazing. Yeah, it does.
It is absolutely staggering. However, they've all got 1,000 horsepower, which means they will all be undrivable.
Yeah, whereas my Exorcist has 1,000 horsepower and is undrivable for under £100,000, which is very advanced.
Yes, and that's exactly my economic point. They're selling them too cheap. They're just giving it away. If American car makers doubled the price of the cars that they sell, bear with me, they would double the money that they make. It's not that complicated when you think about it, if you follow the logic.
I've said before, the wrong Hammond is in charge of Britain's...
Yeah. It is incredible. You've got supply and demand graph. If you take away the demand axis, life becomes much easier when it's all just supply.
Precisely. The Hellcat that I was driving was priced at £67,000.
Yeah.
People are now selling them, that same car, second-hand, for £120,000. And one bloke has advertised one for £500,000. So that means they were too cheap, and I'm right.
It is hard to argue with that.
Unassailable.
And we don't have time, so let's move it on. Because you may remember in the very first show of the Grand Tour in the first season, I was blown away by McLaren P1.
Yeah, I do remember. You said it would be faster than the Porsche 918 and the Ferrari, And, no, wait a minute. It wasn't, was it? And as a result, the only thing that got blown away was your house.
Yes, that's undoubtedly true.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it remains to this day the most exciting, most brutal, most visceral car I've ever driven. And I didn't think it could ever be topped. But McLaren have given it a bash. And I thought, well, if they've built a car that can out-P1 a P1, I'd better test it somewhere a bit less narrow and a bit less tree-lined and a bit less covered in deers and badgers than the Ebola-drome. So I took it to the fastest racetrack in Europe, which is... Actually, anyone want to guess which it is? No, not Monza. Not Spa.
Do you know?
What?
Do you know?
Of course I know.
You know?
Yes.
That's unusual.
Why is it unusual?
Well, you didn't know any of the answers on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, did you?
No, they didn't ask me any of the questions I knew the answers to. That's what it was.
No, but it's not called Who Wants to Know Things Jeremy Happens to Know, is it?
Thruxton.
What is?
Thruxton is the fastest racetrack in Europe. So that's where I took the new McLaren.
What? While the film was on, we've just been online and checked. Thruxton is not the fastest track in Europe.
What?
It's not.
Why isn't it?
Well, it isn't the fastest
Well, it's
track.
the fastest racetrack in Wiltshire.
It's in Hampshire.
You don't even know
It's in Hampshire.
You,
You
don't
don't know
even
where
know
it is.
that. They described themselves as the fastest track in the south of England.
I mean,
Europe.
after Brexit, it'll be the fastest in Europe.
Right. Anyway, whatever. Back to your film. You
Yeah.
said rewriting the supercar rule book. Those are big words, man.
Yeah, and they're correct.
Are they?
No, they are. No, for once, I am actually... First time this show, I'm right. Because that car... You remember the Lamborghini Huracan Performante?
I love that
OK,
car.
that blitzed our
did.
track. Absolutely blitzed it. Fastest road car ever round there. I can guarantee the Senna will be quicker.
Oh, here we go again. Good.
I promise it will be. I promise.
If it isn't, can we blow up your house?
I haven't finished building it yet.
When you finish building it, can we blow up your house?
Yes. I am so confident the Senna will be faster that if it isn't, when I finish building my house, you can blow it up again.
You do know that we will. We will do that. We will do that.
We will.
We'll wait till you're in.
Let's play the tape. Come on, let's have a look. And I have guaranteed it'll be faster.
Yeah.
Or you'll blow my house
You're
up.
doing well on facts this week so far, aren't you? How are you feeling?
Totally relaxed.
Are you really? Thing is, we haven't even got far to go to blow it up, have we? It's just going to be over there.
Come on, let's see how fast it was.
Damn! That is serious.
4 seconds quicker. That's quicker than the Vulcan, and the Vulcan isn't even road legal. That's absolutely amazing.
That is astonishing, and we can add it to the list of things that you know.
And on that terrible disappointment...
For him.
It's back to the tent.
You? What? I thought it had been you.
Oh, no.
You ruined my lap.
You said Detroit had to be a playground, and that's what I was doing. I was playing.
Listen, can my practice time stand? Because that was still the quickest.
That's not how it works. You can't just say that because you were the quickest in qualifying, you would have won the race if you hadn't crashed.
Well, I can say it.
Well, you can say it. I could say I'm the captain of the English cricket team. I wouldn't be any good at it.
Well, moving on.
I know where he was going with that. Anyway, look, in part 1 of that film, we said that we would have a race between the Demon and the Exorcist, a drag race, yeah? And then it never happened. Except it did.
Yeah. You see, Dodge said we couldn't drag race it on the street, but they didn't say anything about airfields. So after we'd finished at our track, we found one of those.
Now, I bowed out of this like I said I would, because the Mustang in the drag racing environment's never going to win. And it became a 2-horse race between Sir Crash-A-Lot and the Onanist, OK? But we have a problem. See, we only have time left in the show, realistically, for one more thing. We've got the guest segment. And this week, I should tell you, it's between Howard from the Halifax advert and Adrian Childs to find the fastest person you don't really hear from much anymore. We'll have a vote, I think. Who here would like to see the celebrity segment? One over there. And who'd like to see the drag race?
Does that mean they're not coming on, then?
Very much so. Very much so, James. So here it is, then. The race between good and evil.
Right, here we go, viewers. It's either salvation or a world plunged into eternal darkness.
OK, this is it. The race between good and evil. Are we ready, gentlemen? We ready?
No.
Go. What's happening?
I've got a couple of things to do before we start.
You think you can't just drag race this now?
Well, you've got to do it properly. This is a proper drag racing car.
What is he doing?
This is what you get when you buy a Demon. Costs you an extra $1 and you get this crate. Oh, it's like a picnic hamper for men. Then, underneath and to either side, I've got boxes with a new ECU. I've got everything I need.
ECU?
Yeah. Look at that!
He's got this enormous crate and some bags and tins full of tools with 2 space savers and...
Space Saver wheels.
Hang on. Why are you putting space savers on it?
They're drag racing tyres. They're lighter. I don't need grip at the front, do I? They just got to steer.
What else does he have to do apart from change the wheels?
He's got a new ECU to fit.
You're serious?
Yes.
So it's not really a drag racing car at all?
It will be once he's completely rebuilt it.
This is an old-fashioned view of television, but I think we've lost the moment.
I think I agree with you. This was going to be the big end of the show.
Yeah.
Good versus evil. I could have walked to the end by now.
I've got to take back tyre pressures down to 20 psi. Nice fat, squishy contact patch.
Exactly 25 minutes so far. It's taken him to do his quarter-mile run.
Oh, so this is where it breathes through its eye. Look at that. That goes at the back of its eye. So,
I mean, that is a significant component. What is it?
air filter.
Does it not have an air filter?
Yeah, but this is a performance one. It's going to gulp through air.
Right, so that's in. Good.
Yep, now we're going to do the ECU, which goes in here, I believe. I'll have to take that out, I think.
So he's now got a different ECU, just telling the engine to be powerful.
Right. Why didn't they just put that one in from the start?
That's good to go.
Sadly, though, it wasn't. He's now refuelling his car with a special, how many octane?
It's ethanol and gasoline mixture, 104.
After the refueling, we hoped he was done. But no.
Right, hang on a minute. I've got to put it in neutral to get that in the middle.
Hammond, you taking the whole dashboard off?
Yeah, this has to come out because I've got to put in a new control panel here. I'll get a new button on it.
He's taken the whole centre console out, the whole of that. He's had to put it in neutral to lift it all off.
What for?
Because he can then fit a button that enables him to select what sort of fuel he's running on.
Why don't they just put that in from the start?
So this all goes back in here with my new switch gear in.
It's an hour and 7 minutes.
Actually, you're right, it is. It's over an hour now. God.
There we go.
Finally, the rebuild of the Demon was complete. And it was time for the drivers to warm their tyres. In 3, 2, 1, man out! Right, your tyres are warm. Are you now ready?
What?
Are you ready to come to the start line?
No.
What do you mean, no?
No, that was just a celebratory burnout.
Oh, geez, he's got out.
I've done all the building work. Now I've got to set the car up. I've got to get in the right modes. There's stuff to do, mate.
Oh, I've had enough. I'm sorry, I've had enough. Bye.
We're never going to do this.
So I need to go into drag. Drag mode activating. Excellent. Drag transmission, drag traction, power. So power needs to go up to 840. We are now in high octane.
I've never known anything like it.
With our starter on his way back to London, the traffic lights were brought in, and finally, we were ready to go.
I'm going to bust your ass, evil boy. Oh, yes.
What are you going to do with it now? Because I've seen the film and I wouldn't do it. I'm getting ahead. I think I'm getting ahead. Come on, Demon!
So annoying.
Aha! Evil wins! Evil wins! Yes! Victory for the Demon. Thank you. Aha! Because I won.
You won.
Because
you
I
did
won.
win.
Yes,
Well
I
done.
did.
Win.
You noticed that?
Yes, I noticed
that I
you-
won.
yes.
At the end of the race, if you saw, my car was in front of your car, which means I won.
Can I just point out that first you had to spend half a day rebuilding half your car, and then you had to run it on fuel that you can't buy from a normal petrol station?
No, wait a minute. Your excrement runs on that clever fuel all the time.
I was sort of banking on you not knowing that.
Yes, well, I
Gentlemen.
do know it.
Gentlemen, I think we have to agree that the Mustang is the only car here that ticks all the muscle car boxes. It's cheap, it's powerful, it runs on fuel you can buy, and you can have it with the steering wheel on the correct side.
You don't get it, do you? You just don't get it. A muscle car is supposed to have 1,000 horsepower, be undrivable, and have a stupid name.
It's called Ready to Rock. That is a stupid name. Listen, Hammond, not only are you the fiscal brain of this operation, you're also the resident muscle car enthusiast, yes? So, and I know the answer to this because you told me on the plane on the way home, of the three cars, which would you actually buy?
Buy.
Buy.
With my own money?
Yes.
Buy.
Yes.
Myself?
Yes.
It's a Mustang.
There you go, the Mustang. Hello and welcome to what is a Grand Tour special.
Yep, and it's going to be a big one because we've had a request from Amazon. You know how if you're watching a programme and you pause it, you get to see a selection of beautiful landscape photographs from all around the world?
Yeah, well, we've been asked to come up with some new photographs of wild animals.
Yeah, us three wildlife photographers. What could possibly go wrong with that?
It's such an obvious idea. I don't know why we never thought of it before. But anyway, we decided that obviously we'd need the right gear and the right cars, and then we should meet up with all of that in the most ecologically diverse country on Earth, Colombia. Colombia is nature's treasure chest. Its endless soaring peaks, vast forests, lazy rivers and babbling brooks are home to a greater variety of birds and animals than you'll find anywhere else on Earth. Of course, common sense dictated that to get our pictures, we should meet far from the stain of humanity. But, for some extraordinary reason, Richard Hammond decided that the start point should be in the middle of the night, close to the bustling city of Cartagena, on a tropical beach.
Morning.
Morning.
Why did he say meet on a beach, and why did we listen to him?
Where is he? Hammond!
It's 4 o'clock, for Pete's sake.
Oh, is that a Fiat Panda?
Fiat Panda 4x4.
It's terrible.
It's fantastic.
No, that's fantastic. Look at that. That is a sturdy car, that is.
Isn't that a very popular car with the gay community?
Is it?
Oh yeah, there was a thing in America where they had the top 10 LGBT cars, and that came third or something.
What? Lesbian, bacon. No, what is it? Lesbian, bacon, transgender. What's that? Well, wasn't that a distressed flare?
Well, a red one is a distress, isn't it?
What's that?
Hang on, is there a person on? There's somebody on it.
Hello? Hello?
Hello! It's Hammond.
That is Hammond.
Hammond!
Hammond!
Hello!
Is that you?
I am.
Are you okay?
Yes, some help would be good.
Is that your car?
Yes, this is my car.
It's his car. As the sun began to rise, we asked Hammond to come ashore so we could work out what on earth was going on. Quite a lot of explaining here. A lot of unpacking.
Morning.
Yeah, good morning. Well, where do we begin? Why is your car there?
Well, because that's where the boat dropped me off.
What boat?
Well, I shipped it from North America.
Yeah.
They got to here, wrapped it in polythene, lobbed it over the side, me with it. That's how they do it. So I reckon, there's a lot of trade between the two. And they're bound to be, isn't there?
What, so you're saying, what, Colombia's exporting something to
Yes,
America?
Exactly. I think
And then
there's
the
more...
ships are coming back empty?
Precisely. I think there's more of whatever it is going to North America, so they go out full, then they come back so you can get a much cheaper ride. Cost peanuts.
Hold that. What are they shipping?
Well, what does Colombia produce?
Right, I've got it here. The main agricultural products of Colombia are coffee, cut flowers, bananas, rice, tobacco, forest products, whatever they are, and shrimp.
I bet it's shrimp.
Yeah, but we were wondering why they don't drop you off, for example, in a port.
I know. They don't use it. That's how they all seem perfectly normal to them. Wrap it in polythene, throw it over the side.
And
me
throw
on
you
top.
over the side as well.
Yeah, yeah.
What's it say on that? Global Auto? No.
Yeah, GAC. Global Auto Kicks. That's what they said was the company.
Problem we've got is, how are you going to get your car from there to here?
I was rather hoping that would be we'd do that. That's
No, if you listen carefully, he said how you're going to get your car from there to here.
You singular.
It's you, meaning you.
What?
No, he didn't say
You may
us.
just get up at 4 o'clock as well.
Eventually, though, James relented and agreed to pull Hammond's car ashore.
Right, go, May. Go, go, go. Give it a yank.
James, what is that? I mean,
It's got 49 horsepower. It's going to ruin it. Get
can
the
we find
Jeep.
a small dog instead to tow it?
Get the Jeep.
Get the what?
This is a
What have you got?
Jeep. It's there.
Well, bring that over.
When I returned in the LGB Jeep, Hammond thanked me by taking the mickey.
It's very nice, by the way. Well done, you.
Isn't it?
I'm proud of you.
Why are you proud of
No,
me?
you've done well. That is a hard thing to do, and you've done it. You are going to be so much happier.
Would you like me to help you get your car
I would.
out of the sea?
I would.
Shut up, then.
Okay. Thought you might be nicer now it's all out in the open.
We hitched up the rope and then waited for the right wave to help us along.
Go now! Yes! No, not at all. Good.
Whoa!
I then realised that we were doing this all wrong.
That is presumably a pickup truck. Yes?
Yes, you've
And
guessed.
four-wheel drive.
Yes.
Right. Why don't you go out there, cut away the polythene bag, and drive it out using the engine?
It's a good idea. Because what you don't do when you drive a car is use the engine in someone else's car. Use the one in your own car.
Yes.
So, while Hammond unwrapped his car, James and I turned our attention to his Fiat Panda.
I bought it from an English family who had bought a house in Tuscany. And this Pepe. Pepe the Panda. And they loved it.
Do you know, I know everything about this family. This has been used for picking their friends up from Pisa Airport.
Oh, undoubtedly.
And their friends are the editor of The Guardian,
Yes.
Tony Blair,
Sherry Blair.
Sting, Alan Yentob.
Yes.
Every single lightweight socialist in Britain has been in this car.
I bet they made their own olive oil as well.
Oh no, we're socialists, really. As they are sitting with their Prosecco, we really care. We're raising awareness. Raising awareness means I'm doing absolutely nothing at all. I bet they had a little man in the village who...
As the pet shop boy ranted on, Hammond finally finished unwrapping his pickup truck. Unfortunately, though, it wouldn't start.
Now.
So, after getting brained by the waves for a while, he waded ashore again and came up with a harebrained scheme where the Fiat would be an anchor and the Jeep a tug.
Right, parking brake is off, and I am in neutral.
Right, you're ready? Good, I am as well. I'm taking up the slack.
Here we go.
That's looking good. No. No. Clarkson, you're pulling me into the sea. Clarkson! Stop! Stop!
Well, why are you there?
You've pulled me in the sea, you muppet!
Thanks to Hammond's stupid idea, the cameras in my car were completely ruined. So we ordered a taxi, sent him into town to get a proper tow truck, and when he returned, he asked Jeremy, of all people, to operate its winch.
Are you moving?
Yes! Yes, I am!
You see, you mock people who like winching and stuff, but don't tell me you're not enjoying this. It is incredible how much power you can get out of a little tiny electric winch. Then you think,
Is he having some sort of winch fantasy?
I'll turn him off. I'm just sitting here, making sure that LED doesn't go red, in which case the winch is overheating, which he seems to think is incredibly exciting.
Jeremy, you need to stop. You're going to pull me into the...
the shelter.
The only thing is, though we have done well, actually, is these 3 cars we've got, because they're all designed to go off-road, and yet they couldn't be more different.
Jeremy, you're pulling me through the building.
That is true. It's a good trio of cars.
No.
You've got mine, which is bought by people who like cruising the streets of San Francisco, Key West and Brighton and Sydney. And then yours, which is bought by people
Jeremy!
who want to feel better about themselves.
Yeah. So if you have your second home whilst people in the world are homeless and starving, it's okay as long as you have a small Fiat.
Oh, shit.
Hammond, you moron!
Well, I couldn't do anything. I got no steering. I was
Why
talking.
didn't you tell us?
I was yelling on the radio. You pulled me
This
through a
family has
building.
loved this car since 1991, and you turn up from bloody Wales or North America or wherever it is you've been, and you've already ruined it.
Listen, it's been a bit of a cluster thing. We need to work it all out. We need communications properly organised.
What is
You
that?
need
That?
It's my ladder.
You bought something you can't get into or out of without a ladder.
It's very high up.
Hammond, that's the worst thing I've ever seen.
It's brilliant. Look at it. That was like the best Christmas I've ever had, unwrapping it out at sea. I was like, ooh, can't wait. And then I saw a little bit of a flame.
And what is that? A skull-faced fox abomination. Look at it.
That is inspiration. It's already got nature pictures on it. It's brilliant. Doesn't that cheer you up a bit?
No, it doesn't cheer me
Yes,
up.
it does. It does. It makes you feel happy.
So far, Hammond's pickup had wrecked everything on the beach and all my cameras and cost us 10 hours. So we told him to shut up again and get it working. And once he'd done that...
Yeah!
we headed into Cartagena to buy some cameras.
Eventually, having got our shopping done, we met up for a camera show and tell. And once again, Hammond had gone completely over the top. What have you bought?
Everything. If I know anything about wildlife photographers, you need the kit. So this goes around my waist. In here I have a selection of prime lenses. That's a macro lens for taking close-up stuff, like really close. This is a 50mm prime, really fast, beautiful lens. Then I've got another harness. So that's for the actual camera. Oh, filters for the flash guns. There's 2 flash guns. They can actually trip one another off as well.
So you pull up... Stop.
What?
You pull up by an animal.
Yeah?
You need to get a photograph of it.
Oh, yeah.
An animal is going to run off any minute. You need to be quick.
But however big or small the animal is, I will have the lens for it, the flash for it.
But you'll have to hope it's dead or
I've
it'll
got-
simply run off.
And then, importantly, of course, camera body. Very good one.
Well remembered.
And most importantly of all, telephoto lens.
Shall I show you what I've got?
Yes?
I haven't bothered with any of that. I've just gone for the telephoto. Not one of yours, but that. This is all I've got. That's all you need.
Well, that is literally it.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Well, are you going to photograph animals in this country?
That's a pervert camera.
No, it's a Daily Mail camera is what it is.
Well, that's what I meant.
It's heavy. Yeah, I bet it is. It's a lot of glass.
Clear this away. Let me show you what I've got.
Right.
That is a camera.
If we'd been tasked with photographing somebody's 21st birthday party...
Perfect.
Welcome to 2018. Everything you've got in all that kit that you've just shown us is in there.
Show me your zoom lens.
Behold the
What,
lens.
is it a cold day?
Behold the zoom. The woman in the shop said this camera takes good pictures. That's enough for me.
Keen to have a break from the relentless bouncing, I suggested we stop to photograph an animal everyone likes. A donkey.
Come on. Oh.
However, my long lens saw something rather disturbing. Come on, there's a man in the back of shot. Wait, hang on. So I went with our translator to talk to people in the local village. Could you ask, was that young man having relations with that donkey, or did I missee something?
Estuvimos afuera y vimos a un muchacho haciendo algo con una burra. ¿Eso es teniendo relaciones con la burra? ¿O...
Okay.
¿Sí? They say yes. That's right.
What did he say? Normal.
No trouble at all.
Normal.
Normal.
So you all
Que ustedes todos lo hacen.
enjoy the company of donkeys.
Que si se divierten de la compañía de las burras.
Sí, claro. Ay, a veces uno no tiene por ahí el rebusca que le toca correr por ella, buscarla a ella.
So they say that basically that's the first wife, the first lover that they have.
That's nice.
All the donkeys fair game? Every single donkey? Or
Se
just
divierten en la compañía de todos sus...
all of them, male and
Todas.
female?
hacemos fila,
¿Hombres y mujeres?
No, las mujeres están... Mujeres aparte, hombre aparte.
Okay, no. Only female.
So they don't have sex with male donkeys? That would be what, weird?
So they said down here somewhere. Oh, hello. Donkeys. Oh, we'll be photographing donkeys then, I guess. Excellent.
Right, try not to make a noise,
Sure, don't worry.
as this one's particularly timid.
Bang on.
We're leaving. No, leave. No.
What?
We're leaving.
It seemed like a really nice little place. Jeremy, why do we have to go? Have you upset someone?
He's either committed some terrible faux pas or he's got sunstroke. He's very red in the face.
Why don't these Colombians just grow something? Surely there must be a plant of some sort that people living out in the sticks could grow here and then sell around the world, rather than interfering with animals. Right, now listen. What to do?
I don't like your trousers.
Well, no, at least he's trying. He's making an effort. But you should have gone the whole hog. Maybe some nice, hey, we're in the outdoors, some nice chaps. Suede, but ventilated at the back. And that shirt, you've picked up that colour. Have you been getting advice?
Maybe turn our attention to the bears now, to Paddington.
Your skin's flaking. You should moisturise.
It's... what?
You should moisturise.
A little bit.
In the
Why should I
modern-
It's
moisturise?
because your skin's flaking.
Because
off.
you're
You've
dry. You look like something found in a pyramid.
Anyway, listen, we must turn our attention...
Let's have a look at the sarcophagus. I'm not putting that in the British Museum.
Having had a decent night's sleep, we convened to plan our next move. Morning.
What's the matter with your face?
It's all good.
No.
It's like being in The Singing Detective.
Bloody roof. Anyway, listen.
Sorry, I'm briefly mesmerised.
Listen.
I'm back.
While you were out this morning buying new action trousers, I see, I have got a book. All of Colombia's wildlife is in this book, yep? All of it. I've been through it. Guess what there isn't?
A hippopotamus.
Well, so far we've got pigeon, dog, horse.
Donkey.
Don't bring those up, please. Jaguar.
Jaguar.
Bear.
Yes.
Condor is next. Condor is next.
Is there a case, I think there is, for a little light car modification?
I agree, there is. There is. I think I might be scaring them off a bit. I could make some changes.
I'm
Tell
just
you what I
thinking...
could give my car. A roof.
Yeah, that's
There
a
is
good
evidence
idea.
to suggest in your flaking visage.
Then you wouldn't look like Michael Gambon in the 80s.
I am Michael Gambon in the 80s.
OK, you have to find mine.
Where is it?
Well, yours is the one disguised as a bush in an industrial car park.
I've camouflaged it.
Well, yes, you painted it.
It's got roll-down netting that goes over the windows when I'm using it as a hide, and it has an inbuilt... Well, it's got a raise on it as well, because the one problem I've had is ground clearance.
What?
Yeah.
You've spent 2 days laughing at Hammond and me because we've got cars that have been raised and how awful they are, and then you've done exactly the same.
As an alternative expression, rather than I'm going to raise my car, why not I'm going to ruin
Yes.
my car?
What
which
you've done is
it does.
ruined it.
Well, let's see. I've done it very subtly.
How do you think Tony Blair and Gordon Sting are going to feel when they see that you've turned their panda into a monster panda?
Very happy, actually. That's communist camouflage. I got it from a picture of a Russian tank.
This is my idea, PA system.
It's
I
not-
always do that.
It's not a PA system.
Well, it is.
It's a bird call and animal call system. I have an iPad, other tablets are available in the car, in which I can select a number of animal noises and they play out of those speakers. It's a lure.
Well, can we move on to Hammond, who's obviously
If
gone
you can find it.
completely mad?
I too have gone the camouflage route because it's green, as you can see. I've mended the half shaft up here. That's the only mechanical work I've had to do because other than that, it's been perfect. Yes, this structure here
Yeah.
is a hide.
I know it is. It's a hide on a monster truck.
It's people that they're scared of, and they won't see any people. Those all drop down.
It's not
And in there, I've got everything I need because often you're sitting and waiting a long time to take pictures. We've learned that. I can cook, eat, entertain myself whilst waiting to capture an award-winning photograph of an animal. And this rotates through 360 degrees.
I see. And you, because it's you put 2 cameras in there to film yourself.
Yes, that's the most important thing.
I love the idea that you two, afraid there's no other word, morons, have decided that somehow you can camouflage your cars so they won't be seen by animals. I have already proved that mine can drive right up to a bear. He's interested.
Speaking of yours, what have you done? Whoa, what's all that on the back?
That, gentlemen, is a scissor lift.
What?
It's a scissor lift. Simply get in that and rise up. So then I have
so you're going to be a window cleaner.
The only thing this didn't really have was proper elevation. Now I have it.
How high does it go?
38 feet.
Really?
Yes.
It'll just fall over.
Aha! That's why I fitted it with outriggers.
They're not far enough apart or big enough.
They slide...
How much does it weigh, that?
I've added half a ton. And there's something else I've done. Oxygen is fitted for my engine.
Why do you need oxygen?
Because we're going very high.
Well, 38 feet.
No, 15,000 feet. More, actually, nearly 16,000 feet.
Really?
Why?
Condors. They're in the sky.
Yes, but they fly above the ground.
Yes, I know, but in order to catch up to them, we must go high.
You can't catch up with them and just photograph them in the face.
I'm telling you, you want a condor, we've got to go high.
Oh, my God.
What?
I've seen it as well.
What, my roof?
Is that the only piece of fabric you could find to make a
What is
roof?
that?
It's wildlife.
But that's for a nursery or something, isn't it? I mean,
It'll keep the sun and the rain off my head.
The rain?
Well, keep the sun off.
It's a really nice installation. That's a quality job as well. You've really... that is
So I've got oxygen for the altitude, which
Yeah.
we're going to.
Yeah,
That'll stop my face disintegrating.
It won't.
And that means I can photograph birds.
it won't.
As it was another 200-mile drive to reach Condor Country, we decided to get cracking immediately. Having got the information, I went back to my colleagues.
Any joy?
More than. I have heard the most astonishing story. Apparently, there was this guy in Colombia who had a business exporting forest products all around the world, OK? Really, really successful. So successful, he bought himself some pet hippopotamuses.
who was he?
Pablo, someone or other. Anyway, the police shot him.
Why?
I don't know. They shot him, and after he was dead, his hippopotamuses escaped. Yeah? And they've been living in the wild and breeding. So there are hippopotamuses here, and they are wild, and I know where they are, and they're only 120 kilometres away.
Well, we're in.
Let's do it.
Finish your coffees.
That's excellent.
Staggering news.
The only thing is, for this 120 kilometres, would either of you mind if I modified my car by unmodifying it?
You don't think you fell off that little scary bridge you
I
made?
don't know. He overcooked it because it's near the end and tried to do some... Hang on a minute. Is that...
It is.
Oh, brief moment of elation followed by plummeting depression. Where have you been?
Welcome.
I've been mending my camera.
You don't need it. We've done it, mate. We've got shots of a hippo. It is done. We're finished. We've done it.
Behold the
Done it.
hippo.
We've got shots of a hippo just then.
Came out a couple of minutes ago.
So that's the end.
Yeah,
That is
job
the
done.
end. And we've got through the whole programme without once mentioning cocaine.
Oh.
James, we said before we came out here we weren't going to use the C word. We were going to be the first people ever to go to Colombia and not talk that.
Sorry. It just slipped out.
Throughout the developing world, people have, for many years, used Japanese-made pickup trucks.
Yes, but now European car makers have decided they want a piece of the action, so they've come up with pickup trucks of their own.
Yes, they have. And to find out if they're any good, this week we take the grand tour on a journey through history.
We begin in the Middle Ages, which meant going to Richard Hammond's garden.
That? Oh, dear.
And there, and I've done my neck in.
This is supposed to be a demonstration of the utility of pickup trucks.
We've done it. We've proved all three of them.
Yeah, no, I have. I've sawn 3 pieces of wood for a fence. Hammond's ploughed 4 furrows for growing things in. You have only subtracted from this community. You've taken away the vegetables, you've taken away the electricity, you've taken away the lighting, you've taken away the ability to make the new fence posts.
Well, I have proved
and you've taken away the food.
But my engine is very powerful. More powerful than in your two.
Yeah, well, what's the use of that?
Speed and power.
It's not speed and power.
Yeah, well, it is. Look what he did. Look what he did. Yours couldn't have delivered that much water that quickly.
Yeah, thankfully, because we wouldn't have done that. I think you've slightly missed the point.
Why do you always have to overdo everything? I mean...
You can shut up.
Why?
Because it's supposed to be a test of European pickup trucks.
And it's European.
Well, yes, apart from the fact that it was designed in Australia and it's built in South Africa.
What about the engine?
That's made in Turkey.
That's European.
Well, a bit of it is.
Well, look, let's not get bogged down with where Turkey is.
This is our new life, chaps.
This is
Lego, cream, and a shit record.
Well, you say that.
I'm going to start again.
I know we've got a chair.
You say that.
Oh, we're going to be all right.
I literally think we're okay.
Yes.
So let's just get this crystal clear. Okay, we haven't escaped with much. But the Volkswagen has now won all 3 tests.
Who decided that?
Me.
Yeah, but this isn't a dictatorship anymore.
We toppled the dictator.
Yeah, it's a democracy.
It was the fastest by a mile.
Yeah, it is.
It was easily the best at pulling over statues and the best at water irrigation.
No. And you may have got there first, guaranteeing your survival, but you have no life. You have half a table and a mattress and the worst album in history.
really have
I
nothing
have got
left.
the
You call
contents
this
of a
the
home.
worst album?
The merits of the Yes album aside, the fact remained that with the country now in chaos, help is urgently needed. So, how would our commandeered trucks cope with their requirements?
Quite well, actually. I think we got away with that. No one from Oxfam here. OK, we'll pick that up later on.
Yes, but first it is time to brim the tank of chat from the petrol station of debate on the corner of Conversation Street.
Now, there's been a lot of talk recently about electric cars, obviously, so we thought we ought to have some conversation about that. Yeah. And I'm going to kick it off, if I may, with the new Audi e-tron. Got a picture of it here. Sure, it's very nice. The only problem is e-tron is the French word for turd.
Is it?
Yes.
They're not going to sell very many of those in France, then, I'm guessing.
No, they probably won't. In the same way that Hyundai, who's just introduced a new car called the Kona, they're not going to be selling too many of those in Portugal.
Why, is Kona Portuguese for turd?
No.
What then?
It's the one word we can't say.
Mourinho.
Yes. That's exactly what it is.
Moving on.
Yes.
Have you seen those stories around about Jaguar possibly going over to making only electric cars?
I have read that,
All
yeah.
Jaguars would be electric, which is a worry, because potentially it'll make it a lot more difficult to hear your Jaguar driving guest leave your house early in the morning with all of your silverware in the boot.
Point. Very
a
good
risk.
point. Oh, no, I've just taken all... Or they'll be turning up all hours of the day and night, just standing there. Well, I'm sorry, could I charge my car up at your house? Suppose I bother with the electricity company over at mine.
Put that in the wall.
Yes, if you don't mind. Yeah, no, but if we may be serious for a moment, the biggest problem is the electrical charging infrastructure in this country simply isn't good enough to sustain a great deal of demand.
No,
it just
but-
isn't.
Yeah, but it'll get better, and the vast majority of people simply recharge at night. That's what I do with
Yes,
mine.
I know, but if you go on a long journey, you can't take your house with you. You've got to charge up somewhere
Yes,
else.
but electric charging points are springing up everywhere at the moment at quite a rate.
I agree.
They are.
They are. They are. But look at it this way, OK? The second most boring thing a man can do is filling up with petrol. Second most after...
Trying on
trousers. We all agree that's the worst thing.
It's just a fact.
The second most boring thing you can do is fill up with petrol, which takes, what, 3 minutes?
Yes.
Charging a car up's like 40 minutes, and I haven't got time for that.
No, but it's 40 minutes. It's getting... You can do it in less than that now, and it's getting shorter and shorter all the time.
Charging times are plummeting.
Yes,
They're
but you've got to
dropping.
go into a service station surrounded by people with smelly bottoms all playing on those slot machines. And 40 minutes, you just think, I've got so much more I'd rather be doing than this. I only have, if I'm lucky, 175,000 hours before I do dying, and I'm not going to waste any of them charging an electric car up. I'm just not.
Now, sticking with electric cars, the iconic London Black Taxi has gone electric. We've got a picture of it here. There it is. I've ridden it. I've driven it as well, actually, and it's excellent. It's very, very smooth, very comfortable, and obviously it's very quiet, which means you can hear the driver's views on immigration more clearly.
Everybody always says, I'm sorry, I like black cabs. I use them all the time.
Yeah, you really are a dinosaur.
I just hate Uber.
You hate Uber.
How do you hate Uber?
Well, it just works.
Have you seen how they drive? They're appalling, dithering about in the middle of junctions and they don't know where they're going, and it's always a price. And I hate those commercials where they say, not all of our drivers are rapists. That's not really a slogan, is it? I'm sorry, I will not get in with... And listen, I've only got 175,000 hours left.
If you don't stop saying how many hours you've got left, I shall make it less.
Look,
a lot less.
Yeah, I'm with him, and I like Uber. I like the fact that you get the alert that tells you who's coming to pick you up and what sort of car he's driving.
Yeah.
That's really good.
What's the point? It's a price. It's always a price.
It isn't always a price. I've got a friend, and she had one coming. This was just before Christmas, as it happened. The driver was from South America, and she got an alert, and it said, Jesus is arriving soon in a Honda Accord. Wow! Which is not what it says in the New Testament.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, is it? Who knew?
Anyway, look, there is a new version of the Bugatti Chiron. I've got a picture of it here. It's called the Chiron Sport. But that does make me wonder, what bit of the regular Chiron wasn't sporty?
No, it was a sporty car
It
anyway.
was quite sporty,
Yeah.
I noticed that. Is that more powerful?
Nope. But it is 18 kilograms lighter because it has carbon fibre windscreen wipers.
What? That's all?
What were the old ones made of?
Cast iron.
So it's 18 kilograms lighter. Mm-hmm. And how much is it?
It's £2.3 million. That's a lot,
Well, hold
isn't
on, the
it?
standard one's, what, 2 million quid,
million.
isn't it? Well, I've just had a thought.
What?
If you're prone to going through life with quite a heavy briefcase,
Yes.
if you bought the ordinary Chiron, left your briefcase at home, you've automatically created a sport, haven't you?
Yeah.
And saved yourself £300,000.
That is good advice.
Yeah. A lot
Actually,
of people
that's-
here will be taking that away with them and using it.
That's consumer advice.
Exactly. I
All
like
part
to
of the
do that.
service, we're here for you.
Can I move it on? I have some interesting conversation.
Oh, good.
There is a man in Canada who has successfully lowered his car insurance premium by declaring himself to be a woman. Now, he hasn't had the operation, he hasn't swapped his beef torpedo for the silken purse. He has merely...
Thank you, Baker.
He has merely
Just said
taken
beef
advantage
torpedo, didn't you?
of a loophole in the law that allows you to change your gender. Okay?
Torpedo? You actually claim you've got a torpedo?
Everybody calls it that.
A spearfish. He rides it to... Listen. There's a lot of this about. I mean, there was a chap the other day sentenced to some considerable jail time, and as he was sentenced, he went, oh, I've just remembered I'm a woman. And can I go to a lady prison, and preferably one of those like you see on the internet?
Yeah, and it worked.
They sent him to a lady prison, where, sure enough, he's been quite badly behaved.
Yeah, I mean, chaps, I wouldn't advise trying it down your local swimming bath, swaggering into the changing rooms. Morning, ladies. I'm a lady as well, just like you and you. I'll just hang up my suit and my tie there, and I'll go and take a shower with all the rest of the... Oh, my Lord, my vagina's gone all stiff. Look at that. I apologise.
It's a tricky and obviously sensitive area, but my advice is, if you want to lower your car insurance premium, don't walk into this minefield of whether or not you can declare yourself to be a woman. Simply declare yourself to be a vicar.
That's a good idea, because they do have cheap insurance, don't they?
They do have very cheap car insurance, and if you're a vicar, you can still wear a dress.
Yeah,
There you go.
so everybody wins.
Did they get
Everybody wins.
more consumer advice? Ooh, now, you know Morgan?
I do.
OK, they've got a serious problem. Because they make the frames of their cars out of ash. Now, all the ash trees in Britain have either died or are dying. So Morgan is going to have to import its ash from abroad.
What?
Foreign wood.
Foreign wood in a Morgan?
I know, can you imagine? And it may be German.
Oh, good God, German wood in a Morgan.
Can you
No,
imagine
that's just
having
not
German wood.
That can't
won't
be
work.
done.
That's probably why, because of this immense problem, they've decided to branch out.
What are they doing?
Well, they're going to start making bicycles.
Are they made of wood?
Well, yes, we've got a picture here. They are, actually. The mud guard and the chain guard is both made of wood.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, they're really roaring into the future, Morgan. What are they doing next? Is it a dugout canoe?
Well, now, it's interesting you should say that. It's not a dugout canoe. It is, and this is a big surprise for Morgan. They're making hair care products.
What?
What?
They absolutely are making hair care products. I've actually got the blurb about it here. This is actually from Morgan's website. Yeah, well, as they call it. They call it the electric computer.
I was going to say, they have a website.
OK, this is describing their new hair products, quintessentially British.
Oh.
The lotion was originally created to enable a gentleman to hold not only the racing line, but also his hairstyle.
Oh, lovely.
So Morgan's most stylish owners, there's no such thing as a stylish Morgan owner, can once again take to the roads with confidence that their dapper coiffure will hold throughout the journey.
Can I ask something, actually, while we're on the subject? Why is it that everything in the world has a name, like cup, spectacles, Jeremy Clarkson's cardigan, but anything you put in your hair is just called product?
Oh, I don't get that. You go to the barber and he says, would you like product? You think, no, because it might be HB sauce. Exactly. I mean, that's a product. I don't want
This is a bit vague. They could tarmac your hair.
Well,
It's
they
product.
I mean, molten aluminium is a product.
It is.
Swarthega is a product.
I'm not sure that Morgan actually understands its customers very well with this plan.
What, you're saying that the typical Morgan customer wouldn't traditionally...
Yeah, look at them. They're not hair care
Well, let's
products
just work
kind
this
of
out. Hammond,
people.
you have a Morgan, and...
Actually,
Actually, on the subject of that, can you just talk among yourselves? No, seriously, James May, I want to check something out with you. Just if I may. Just hang on a minute.
What are you doing?
Well, thing is, OK,
like
you say that you don't wear...
Oh, I'm uncomfortable with whatever's happening.
You will be. I took this photograph just last week, OK? I put an arrow on it to show what I'm on about. That's Richard Hammond sporting. I'm going to zoom in.
Some grey hairs there, yeah.
A couple of grey hairs. Have you seen those? Yes? Now, when I came to work this morning...
They're still there. My wife has cut my hair. They'll still be...
They're not... James
They are,
Mate, they're
don't
not
die
there. They're not there.
Come in really close. They're still there.
Let me arbitrate independently. They're not there.
They're not there. You've
never-
been using Morgan product.
I've never
I
dyed
put
my hair. Oh, God.
Would you like to stop doing Conversation Street now?
I'd so like to do... If you want to feed me into a giant blender, I prefer that.
Right, that is the end of Conversation Street. You jammed an AK-47.
Well-
It's famously unjammable. No one in history has ever jammed one until you came along.
Yes, it overheated.
That's because you were firing it into the air pointlessly when you set off.
That's what they're for. Weddings, funerals, exam results. You go outside, fire AK in the air. It's a joyous thing. They are the party popper of the developing world.
So never mind all that. I have the scores.
This is the
final
important
scores.
bit.
Jeremy Clarkson, you fired 2,600 rounds. Mm-hmm. And the number of targets you hit was 1.
Yeah, we laugh, but it's one more than him.
It is.
It is one more than you, so I'm winning.
Wait, so hang on. It all boils down to how many targets I hit.
Yes, but you had a roll bar to hang on to.
I did.
Yep, he did. And he scored
Yes.
0.
Right. You really got nothing.
Yep.
That's it. OK, so after all of that, what is our conclusion, gentlemen?
Can we do a sensible one?
Yeah.
See, the thing is, that Mercedes Nissan you had, it did have a wobbly back end, and I just don't think that's good enough, actually, in a pickup truck. I really don't. The Volkswagen is very good, but pickup trucks are working tools, and it's just a bit too posh. You wouldn't want to get into it in muddy boots, so I don't think that will work,
So
really.
it's the Ford, then. It's the cheapest.
It is the cheapest, and it's, I think, the best looking, and it is actually the one I'd have.
You'd have the Ford?
Yeah,
So
and
we
you'd have
both
the
have
Ford.
the Ford.
Yeah.
We'd have the Ford. James, what would you have?
I wouldn't have a pickup truck.
Yes, I know, but in this test of pickup trucks, which one would you have? Which are you going for?
None of them. I wouldn't have one.
No, I know, but we're testing pickups, so which pickup truck of the three would you have?
I wouldn't have a pickup truck.
We've just spent, I don't know, 20 minutes reviewing these pickup trucks. The ladies and gentlemen would like to know which is the best.
Yes, I've come to a conclusion on behalf of the ladies and gentlemen, which is don't have a pickup truck.
James, you have a powerful imagination. Use it. Let's pretend. OK, come with me on a journey. We'll warm your imagination up. Imagine you're an eagle.
OK.
Visualise that you're flying over mountains. Can you feel it? Can you feel the wind in your feathers? It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
OK, now, imagine you've got a pickup truck. Which one is it?
Why would an eagle have a pickup
No!
truck?
No, I mean, imagine... OK, let's OK, imagine, James May, a pastoral scene. You got it? There's, like, rolling grassy hills, a few sheep around. You're a farmer. You're walking around with your dog at your heel there, sheep all around you.
Can I have Beethoven playing?
Beethoven is playing, obviously, live. There's an old five-bar gate there. An old oak tree arches over the gate. And under the oak tree is your farmer's pickup truck. Which one is it?
It's not there. I wouldn't have a... Because I wouldn't have a pickup truck. Neither should anybody else. You shouldn't have a
Even
pickup...
in your imagination.
My imagination does not admit a pickup truck. I'm not being stubborn. I know my mind.
Yes,
and I don't want a pickup truck.
And what I know is that you've wasted so much time not choosing a pickup truck and claiming that the Battle of Britain was a draw that we don't have time for the big celebrity duel between Adrian Charles and Howard from the Halifax ads.
Oh, no.
Exactly.
Right now, it is time for us to scrump an apple of chat from the Orchard of Intercourse, which is on Conversation Street.
That's so up your street. Right now, lots of people these days are buying old cars, and we think we can see why.
Yeah, because an old Jaguar E-Type or Alfa Spider is far more interesting to look at than any modern car, and it won't depreciate. In fact, it'll make you money.
Yeah, the trouble is, though, you get into your old car and it's crap.
Well...
He's absolutely right. We forget how terrible old cars were, really. I mean, if you go more than 40 miles an hour, the windscreen wipers part company with the windscreen.
Yes.
And the headlamps are like candles in jam jars.
Yeah, and the demister doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
And the heater doesn't.
No.
And everything else rattles and the brakes don't work.
Exactly.
It's old cars. They were...
I speak from experience. I've got a 40-year-old Ferrari, a 308, and it is... Apart from all those things, it's catastrophically slow. You wouldn't believe it. I pull away from lights and people behind honk because they think, that's a Ferrari, that'll... Oh.
Yeah, they honk. Yeah. Doesn't that happen in any car you drive, James?
Yeah. No. It's just...
Get out of the way! Pretty much.
But it is unbelievable how, poor it is.
Yeah, no, but that's the exact point we're trying to make here. There are now loads of companies who will take an old car and then gently modernise it. I've got some examples here of what we're on about. There's this, which is the Singer Porsche. I'm obviously not very interested in that. These two are, but I couldn't care less. Then you've got the Eagle E-Type Speedster, one of the best-looking cars I've ever seen. That's an actual E-Type and one of the most beautiful to drive.
Yeah.
Absolute honey.
Yeah, there's a company in Germany now, and they are modernising lightly. Remember those old Mercedes Pagoda SLs?
Oh, yeah.
They're putting AMG engines in them.
What,
Yep.
That's got a modern AMG engine.
That has an AMG. Do you want to have a look at the engine?
Yeah.
So look, another shot. Hang on. There it is. Look at that. That is a car.
No, I can see you like that.
Very, very much.
I've got something you'll like more.
Have you? Oh, my God!
That is an old 68 Dodge Charger. You used to have one, didn't you?
I did.
But someone has put in that a 1,000 horsepower modern-day Hellcat engine. I mean...
I need some time alone with that picture.
It's just... That is such a good idea, this, I think.
It is actually, and it's a very good point, because we all think we would like a Jensen Interceptor, don't we? But the fact is it won't go, it won't stop if it ever does go, the brakes won't work, all the rest of it, terrible thing. But here is a Jensen Interceptor, but that has modern brakes, has a modern cooling system, and it has the engine from a Corvette.
No, it does. I've actually driven that very car, and it's epic. Well, that one isn't anymore because somebody wrapped it round a fence in Goodwood. But it was epic before that. It's a fantastic car. It really, really is.
I'd like to explain, by the way, that squeaking noise is not James thinking. It's It's quite a breezy day.
It's a breezy day.
And we decided to base ourselves in a tent because we're mad.
And on a hill.
And on a hill. Yeah, but I think the problem with all of these reimagined cars is that they're expensive. They're too expensive.
Yeah.
That Mercedes Pagoda SL, that's £300,000. Those Singer Porsches, 400. That E-Type Speedster, 650 grand. It's just crazy.
The problem is that the companies who are doing this kind of work, they know they can charge that kind of money because the customers that come to their workshops invariably arrive in a helicopter with a Ukrainian girlfriend and Lewis Hamilton's watch. And the fact is, if you're going to dress up like that and act like that, if you're going to show off, you're going to get ripped off. That's just the way it is.
They charge accordingly, don't they?
Yeah, that's asking for it, isn't it? What you should actually do is ring them up and say, could you collect me from the station?
No.
That would be better, isn't it?
No, the bus stop. Pick me up from the bus stop. I've come to look at these cars you make.
I've just had a thought. Right, picture this. An original Opel Manta A. Remember the one? With round tail lights?
Yeah, black bonnet.
Yeah, but with the engine from a modern Vauxhall VXR in it. So I just find some blokes that'll do that for me. I'll do that on the phone. And then I go and visit them on the bus in a tracksuit. And they'll...
And you'll get charged 50 quid.
Well, I'll probably get 40 because I need a tenner to get home on the bus.
Oh, now, there's a new electric car from, you're not going to believe this, Kalashnikov.
Really?
Yeah, the people who make AK-47s are going to start making electric cars.
I like the sound of that.
I know. Do you want to see a picture of it?
Yes.
Here it is.
Oh.
No, don't laugh, because from the back, it's actually worse. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, you're right, it actually is, you're right.
Now, I assumed that it would have 8 moving parts, that you could bury it in a bog for 3 months and that it would only jam if Richard Hammond used it.
Yes, you're right.
But they say it has revolutionary technology.
Does it? Does it have central locking and loading?
More importantly, can you fire it in the air at weddings?
You probably would. Exam results, children, they go out and do that. No, but I think the idea of driving a car called a Kalashnikov...
It sounds brilliant.
Oh, yeah,
it's
pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, but what are you driving these days, Rich?
Well, it's a Kalashnikov.
There you go. There you
The
go.
problem is, I reckon they're going to sell a lot of T-shirts and mugs and hats with the name on, but not many actual cars.
Like Ferrari.
Basically Ferrari, yeah.
Oh, here's one. There's a story I got from the Dorset Echo, which is a local newspaper in Dorset. And I think it wins the award for unnecessary reporting because it's about a crash that happened between a motorcyclist and a tank. Happened near the army base down there. OK, and it says the motorcyclist sustained a suspected fracture to his arm and leg. And here's the line they probably didn't need. The driver of the tank was uninjured.
Was he? Well, he was lucky to get away with that, wasn't he? Was he really?
I suspect he got back to the base and went, I hit a what?
Did I?
Good conversation here, I think. Very good conversation. Because they've announced a new type of motor racing championship, which is for women. It's called the W Series, OK? And the idea is that potentially quite good, women racing drivers can take part in this series. Cars are all exactly the same. You're invited to take part, and the prize money is £1.1 million.
Yeah.
So it's, fairly incentivised.
There's actually been a lot of discussion about, or actually debate, I should say. It's been...
Yeah, because some people are saying it's sexist to have a women-only championship. But if you think about it, you've got women-only football and rugby and hockey, all Olympic sports pretty much are segregated between men and women. So I can't see why motor racing should be different.
Not all sports, though. Men and women compete directly against each other in dressage.
Yeah, but that's not a sport. It isn't. That's just sitting on a horse while it tries to look camp.
All right, then, they can...
That's right.
OK, there's no...
It is, though.
You're right, actually. There's no segregation, then, between men and women in sailing. They compete against each other.
Well, that's not a sport either, is it? Sailing is a job. You have to pull pieces of rope and...
All right,
It's manual labour is what it is.
Okay.
It's not a sport.
No, honestly, there's a world of difference in any of that and single-seater car racing.
Why, though? Why is it? I mean, is it that, oh, well, you need manly strength to do it? Because, well, you don't anyway, because even an F1 car has power steering.
I know, but I was driving a single-seater race car the other day. I can't remember what or where, but I know it had slick tyres. And after 3 laps, my neck muscles, I was like this. And I hadn't got the strength to lift my head up. I had to wait for the next corner so I could prop over the other way. Now, I know, you know, Navratilova and the Williams girl, you wouldn't want to arm wrestle either of them. So women can build up their muscles to compensate for that, but...
So wait, are you saying that there should be segregation with women and men in motorsport?
Well, it doesn't really matter what I think. The fact is, it's 43 years since there was a girl in a Formula One motor race. 43 years. So something's going wrong, because they're not making it.
I think it's grassroots. It happens early on. I think too many mothers put their little daughters on ponies and not into go-karts.
Yeah, no, you've got to... Yeah,
No, they're not inside. Some girls do go karting, because Abby, our driver, she was karting since she was a little nipper.
Well, I think what this series is all about, it's not about segregation, it's about encouraging women to go car racing, which I think is a good idea.
Yeah, I think it is, but I think it has to start early on. So, little girls, it's time to get off your ponies and get into a go-kart.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, actually, from some experience of horses, the good thing is, when you walk out in the morning, you'll find that your go-kart hasn't crapped itself and died in the night. So it's better than your horse.
You'll also find out that go-karts are more fun than going on and horse. They just are.
Yes, yes. And you'll find also that a go-kart won't pop its long, stupid head up over the stable door and look at you. And you know it's thinking, it's trying to say to you, hey, your wife, she's back here with me, in here. She's given me breakfast in bed, crapped myself last night, but she's clearing that up with a garden fork.
And then it says, and my penis is a bit dirty.
She'll be sorting that out for me later on. And then your wife's head will pop up over the stable door and she'll say, don't look at him like that. He'll think you don't like him. And you'll say, I know! If I could speak horse, I would tell him, I hate you. I hate the way you steal my wife and my money and my status around here. And then one day you'll have a conversation with your wife and she'll say, darling, I need a trailer to move my special horse around to wonderful places because these fields are too small for him to exercise his magnificent muscled legs. And you'll say, OK, I'll get you a trailer. And then she'll say, I need a special car to tow the special trailer, to carry the special horse. So you'll get one. And then one day she'll say, I need a lorry, a great big lorry, to carry my great big magnificent horse around the country. And the lorry must have a kitchen and a bed in it so I can sleep close to my horse, closer to my horse than I am to you. And at that moment, your head will bow and your heart will break because you know you have lost and the horse has won.
That's very good.
That is,
Slightly off.
we trod on the H-bomb, didn't we? Every time you mention the horse word to him, he's off. Oh, I did it again. I think we probably end up... Well, it's not really Conversation Street. That was Rant Street from Hammond, but well...
Sorry about that.
Well, then, let's move it on, shall we? Anyway, over here in the West, we tend to think that at £360,000, a Rolls-Royce Phantom is quite expensive. But this week, the Grand Tour is focusing mostly on China. And over there, things are a bit different.
If you are a Chinese businessman or businesswoman and you want a car that reflects your status, you don't need to spend £880,000. You can simply pop over to Europe and buy a Mercedes S-Class like this one. And even though this is the 6-litre V12, it costs me just £8,800. In other words, you could have 100 of these for the price of a honky.
At this point, my colleague Richard Hammond arrived in something or other.
What is that?
This is a Cadillac STS, and you can shut up.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Good, because this is fitted with one of the best engines of all time. The creamy smooth 4.6-litre North Star V8, making 300 all-American horsepower. That engine was designed so it can run for up to 100 miles with no coolant in it at all by shutting down one bank of the V8 until it cools, and then the other one, and then the other one. That is clever.
And front-wheel drive?
Yeah. It's a luxury car. Who cares what wheels are being driven, James?
Well, people who care about torque steer, weight distribution, dignified engineering, doing things properly.
All right, I'll cancel all the track days I've entered in it and I'll just drive around in it as a luxury car.
Anyway, this is the Mercedes S-Class, which, as we know, is really a sort of paradigm for the luxury car, and it's a pioneer of many things that are new on cars and that we all come to see as standard 7 years later. For example, first car to have...
Soft closed doors. How many miles has it done?
180,000.
Yeah, well, I figured.
Where did your car come from?
Germany.
A German? Bought a Cadillac.
We were then interrupted by the arrival of Clarkson in a BMW.
Ooh, I see you've bought the long car.
Yours is long as well.
Are you two been from the 1970s?
No, they're long wheelbase. And this is long.
It is long.
This is the BMW 750iL, as Q called it in the Bond film Tomorrow Never Dies.
Did he?
He did.
He did.
Nobody told him.
Nobody on set said, Desmond, that's not
You
really
would
safe."
think, wouldn't you? Oh, well.
And in the film, they use 740s rebadged. This is the real deal. The 5.4-litre V12, and all I paid for it was £8,400. That is one hell of a lot of car.
I only paid £3,000 for my Cadillac. That's a Cadillac.
Yes,
Oh.
the point I'm going to make is, what kind of a moron in Germany said, there's Audi, there's BMW, there's Mercedes, I should buy a Cadillac. In fact, I know exactly. You know those Germans you see that think they're Hell's Angels? They're dentists, but they have Harley-Davidsons.
Yes.
And they go to the Oktoberfest and they drink Budweiser.
Yes, well, I know the Germans you mean.
Indeed.
No,
Because-
you're wrong, because the previous owner of that car was an American general living in Germany.
Was
A general.
He was an American general, and he bought that because he recognised what Cadillac intended with that car, which is to take on Audi, BMW, Mercedes directly with that car with the North Star engine.
Oh, yes, they were very successful at that, weren't they? Because Europe is full of Cadillacs.
Yeah, you see them everywhere.
You never see an Audi.
Tripping over these.
Rarity and exclusivity are part of luxury.
Let's have a look at yours.
Mine, honestly, is a perfect neck. It's
I saw that.
absolutely fine.
I saw that.
So what?
That's got
Nothing
double
to see.
glazing and it has gone wrong.
Oh, wait a minute. Come on.
What's the disease? It's got...
Is that, James, is that between the panes?
Yeah, it's got
Incredible.
mumps.
That's the most depressing. A double glazed window with mildew in
What's the
between it.
matter?
You've got mildew inside your windows.
Where?
There.
Yeah.
Well, it's just, it's...
That's really poor. Oh, my God! Basically, it's disappearing before your eyes.
How can a German car go? Are you sure it's a real one?
Was it parked in the sea when you bought it?
Let's not
Down here.
get bogged down with the oxidisation of my car. Because a lot of Chinese people, as we know, come to Europe these days, mostly to go to the Lister shopping village, which is now a bigger tourist attraction for the Chinese in England than Buckingham Palace. True fact.
Does anybody else find that faintly depressing?
Very depressing. If Chinese people are going to come to the UK and buy Western soap and Western frocks, why would they not buy Western cars when they're there?
Yeah, because you can't buy these cars second-hand over here.
No, they're not. This vintage isn't available here.
No.
Because when these cars were new, everyone in China had,
Bicycles.
yes,
Yes. But you-
oxen.
yeah.
And what we're saying is you can buy one of these for a lot less than a luxury honky. A lot less.
And that's what we're here to prove, people of China. That was a totally useless test.
Why was it?
Well, we did nothing to convince Chinese business people that our second-hand limos were a good idea, and we all scored naught.
Yeah, and we all ruined our paintwork as well.
Yes, but it'll buff out.
They won't.
Well, anyway, we shall pick that up later on. But now, it is time for us to splash in some puddles of chat, left by the drizzle of debates that falls on Conversation Street. I like that one.
Yeah,
I like that one.
Yeah. We'll stick with China, if we may. Before we were allowed to drive over there, we all had to sit Chinese driving tests. Now, we've seen driving tests around the world. I remember one in India I encountered once, where a woman passed, even though she was in the back of the car, and her examiner was in another car following along behind.
Yeah, it used to be in Egypt that you had to drive 6 feet forwards, but then 6 feet backwards, and then you'd pass.
And that was it.
I'd love to meet somebody who failed that.
Yeah. Anyhow, so we figured that to get a Chinese driving test, it would be, quite an easy test. However, we were in for a bit of a surprise. Now, I actually got some footage of Hammond taking his test. Anyone want to see it? Yeah? It's poor quality, it's on my phone, but here we go. Test centre. Right, so he has to ball his fists. Then a squat. There he goes. He goes. And then he has to get on some weigh scales. Tense moment here, tense moment. Still tense. Yeah. You passed. Hammond has passed. Seriously.
Well done.
That was it.
It was nothing. I made it look easy.
That was... Well, it was the easiest driving test I've ever heard
I know,
of.
basically I passed because I proved that my hands do that and I'm affected by gravity. That's it.
I think it is actually just a test to check that you are a human being and not a dog, because they can't
That's all
do
it was. However, afterwards, we were taken into a sort of lecture theatre by a man who was, talks us through the perils of the road in China, and he said that we had to look out for a number of things running out into the road in front of us, including, and I'm not... This is a quote, yes, you will back me up on this. This is what he said, including dogs, children and women.
That's what he said.
Yes, he said,
that.
be careful, they run out into the road.
Oh, you never know, they're unpredictable.
Yeah, I don't think the hashtag #MeToo movement has reached Chongqing just yet.
Mind you, you say that. There are 78 self-made billionaire women in the whole world, and 49 of them are Chinese.
Yeah. Well, there would be more, but some of them got run over. Anyway, look, can we talk about that honky for a bit?
I knew you'd want to talk about that. It's so you.
It's interesting.
It's
isn't it?
so
got
you.
him written all over it.
Bad news, though. You can't have it in brown.
Why would I want it in brown?
Oh, yes, you
You
would.
love a brown...
Look, your cars are grey and dark green. Mine are blue, metal fake, red and orange.
I can't see into your mind. God knows I'm not sure I want to. But I know, James May, as you drift off to Sleepy Bobo's tonight, a brown honky will be driving. It just will be. It will.
But I don't like brown cars. It's like him saying, I love horses. Things that aren't true.
Don't like brown
Things that aren't true. You love a brown car and you can't
I've
have it
never
in
had a brown car, and I am interested in the honky, so tell us more about it.
OK, something I didn't say in the film, which is quite interesting, is that when you order one, they send a tailor round to your place of business, and he measures you up for a suit that you then wear when you take delivery of the car.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd actually quite like to be the tailor who made the suit for you when you take delivery of your honky. It would have some writing on it.
Would it?
Not in Chinese.
Would this-
It would be in English.
Would it be a pithy description of the wearer?
Yes, that's
Yes.
what it was.
Actually,
Yes.
it's funny you should say that, because in China there's a tendency for people to wear clothing with English words written on them. They've obviously got no idea what those words say. I was sitting in a traffic jam one day there, and there was a woman on a bus next to me, and she was a perfectly respectable 50-something woman on her way, obviously, to an office job or whatever. She was wearing a white blouse with red flowers on it. Now, I took a picture. Here it is. And what that says is, he was a arsehole.
I would love a picture of her face when somebody explained to her what it said on her shirt.
Do you know what's really amazing about that? That's exactly what I was going to have put on your honky suit.
She knew.
See you. I want to get back to cars, if I may, because there's some truly astonishing stats, really, about cars in China. We've got a graph here of global car production, yes? There's the UK in 10th place. We made 1.67 million cars here in 2017. Japan, 8.35 million. China, let's put it up.
It's mind-blowing.
24.8 million cars they made there. And what's extraordinary is that you can't just buy a car and then use it. You have to apply to a government-run lottery for a registration plate for your car. Now, here's one, OK? In Beijing last year, for every 1,000 people who applied for a registration plate for a car they intended to buy, for every 1,000 who applied, how many do you think actually got one?
500.
200.
600.
300.
3.
What? 3 people?
Three
For
as in
every
three?
1,000 people who applied, only 3 actually got a registration plate, were allowed to buy a car.
This is good conversation, this whole issue, actually,
Yeah.
and really interesting. Would you like to guess what was the best-selling car in China in 2017?
Well, Volkswagen have been there forever, haven't they? So I'm going to say the Passat.
I'm going to say it's a mid-size Hyundai of some sort, sort of boxy thing.
And you're both wrong. It's the Wuling Hongyang.
What, that?
Yep, there it is.
That's the
fella.
best-selling
And
car in China?
They sold 500,000 of them in China in 2017.
Really?
Half a million?
500,000 of those were sold, yeah.
They sold 500,000...
Wuling Hongyang.
Those? That's more than the Ford Focus.
Yeah, and don't forget the Ford Focus is sold globally. That's just sold in China.
The Chinese car that caught my eye, I must say, was the best-tuned T77. Familiar with it?
Oh, the best shooter. No,
never heard of it.
Yeah, exactly. I've got a picture of it here. It looks a bit like the Lamborghini from last week, the Urus, but it's much smaller, 1.2-litre engine SUV, all quite normal. Except it comes with something called a dashboard assistant, which is a little holographic figure that pops up and then you talk to it and it helps you set the sat-nav and make phone calls and so on.
Very high-tech.
Yeah. It's that the little holographic figure is of a Japanese schoolgirl. And then you can choose what colour miniskirt you'd like her to wear. A picture, I'm not making it up, there's a picture here.
I'm not sure about that.
I'm not either, but here's the thing, James. The Chinese don't care what we think, anybody, because they look at us like we look at cows. We're just big, daft things standing around. Only instead of milk, we give them luggage and watches. That's actually the end of Conversation Street. It's not the end, however, of the Chinese stuff, because we had a call the other day from a Chinese car manufacturer called NIO, and they said, we have built a blisteringly fast, all-electric supercar, and would one of you like to try it out?
Yeah, now, after his escapade going up a Swiss hill in a blisteringly fast all-electric supercar, Richard Hammond said that he really didn't think he was the man for the job. However, it turned out that the car was only available for one day, and unfortunately on that day I had the boiler man coming round.
Yep. And I had a dental appointment.
Dentist.
Dental appointment, yeah.
Yep. So, guess what?
You know, it's interesting. Watching that has convinced me that I will never buy an electric car as long as I live.
Why not?
Because why on earth would I want to employ a team of men and buy a forklift every time I need to go anywhere?
Yeah, that's all very well, but a lot of people are more enlightened than you, including me, in fact. So, Hammond...
Yes?
Tell me, how does it compare with the Rimac?
I was interested.
Yes, they are, sure. The Neo, the Neo is just more of everything. It's more power, more grip, more speed.
I have to say, that looked painfully fast, that car.
Is.
I mean...
It is
really
astonishingly fast, but it is a novelty, an amazing, powerful, fast one, but a novelty nevertheless.
And we should make it absolutely clear that you can't drive it on the road at all, can you?
No,
It's not road
no,
legal.
You can't, unlike the Rimac, which you can. That's what makes it so amazing. And there's a new Rimac coming out soon that'll have more than 1,900 horsepower.
But imagine the size of the internal combustion engine you would need to make 1,900 horsepower. It would
It'd be massive. That's why the future of supercars like that is electric.
It is.
What?
It is. It is.
It is.
That's the way it's going to go. It's the way it is going.
OK, then, let's find out how fast your beloved Neo goes round the Ebola-drome. Well, you can't like those...
No, there's a whole new set of noises, you pillock.
OK.
It's the future.
OK, let's see how fast your elegantly entitled Neo EP9
Yes.
got round, shall we? Here we go. Top 10?
Come on. There you go. Oh, yeah.
Quicker than
Oh,
an
yes.
Audi.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah. That is faster than the Aston Martin Vulcan.
You're absolutely right, Hammond. It is a very impressive car, and it is faster than a Vulcan. But it's slower than the petrol-powered McLaren Senna, which is road legal. So that is petrol 1,
Yes.
electricity 0.
All right, don't do that face. Don't do that face. No.
Smug face.
Not the smug face. James, just move it on quick.
Did anyone...
Did
he just crash it?
Was that a crash, or did he just disappear behind the...
He has, look, he's gone off there. So there we are. I'm afraid that Richard Hammond's luck has finally run out, and it's with deep regret and great sadness that James and I must now announce the untimely demise of...
All right.
Not again.
How does he do it?
I don't know.
Well, on that terrible disappointment, back to the tent.
Smug face. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Smug
fine.
face.
Don't worry.
Smug, because I won that.
No, you didn't.
I did. I was the fastest, and it was supposed to be a test of fun, and you moaned the entire way up the hill.
It was supposed to be a test of durability, and you had to change your wheel, and where's the fun in that?
Well, I wasn't the idiot that put a sauna in my car.
What's wrong with a sauna?
Because in every hotel that's got a sauna, the corridors are always full of wet idiots with those slippers that don't fit.
Hello?
What?
Hello? I did have quite a big crash at the end there. I just thought we could...
There's nothing particularly remarkable about that, is there? I mean, why would we...
The fact is, the reason you crashed, well, obviously your incompetence, but also because your Cadillac broke down and your Mercedes was too humid. So that means the winner is definitely, of the whole thing, the BMW 750i. What?
Actually, no. To be fair, the real winner of the whole thing was our brilliant idea to sell second-hand limos to the Chinese.
No, he's absolutely right about that because it makes them happy and it helps us with our balance of payments.
Everybody wins.
It was a good idea.
Yes.
Except for one tiny detail. You see, this programme is shown in every single country in the world, except one.
Which one?
China. So this entire show has been a total waste of time. It's an hour of your life you'll never get back. I want to begin by talking about money. Bear with us on this one. You see, if you'd put £35,000 in a saving account in the year 2000, you'd now have around £60,000. However, if you'd put that same £35,000 into an E-Type Jaguar, you'd now have £100,000.
Yeah, just about everything, even remotely rare or interesting, is worth a fortune these days. Aston Martin DB5, that'll cost you £750,000. Ferrari Daytona, £600,000. A Pagoda roof Mercedes SL, that'll set you back at least 75 grand now.
Yeah, it's not just exotic cars either. Ford Escort Mexico, OK? Humdrum car. That's a £60,000 thing these days. 60 grand.
It is. However, there are one or two rare and interesting cars that seem to have slipped through the net, whose prices haven't yet gone through the ceiling.
So we decided to get out there and see which of us was best at spotting that investment opportunity.
Exactly. So we each bought a classic car. And then to see which one of us had got the best deal, we took the grand tour to what one of our producers, who's Scottish, always says is the best, most beautiful place on Earth. Scotland. We chose for our meeting point a quaint fishing port near Inverness. And I was the first to arrive in an Alfa Romeo GTV6. Now, you would imagine that when one of these comes onto the market, classic car enthusiasts are running around like they're in a zombie movie and it's Black Friday. But no, I bought this from an 83-year-old man who'd had it since new and was only selling it because his 84-year-old wife found it so difficult to get in and out of, you know. It's only done 26,000 miles, and yet it cost £10,000. And £10,000, that's a round of drinks in the world where this sort of thing belongs. Oh, hello. James May in a Lancia Gamma Coupe. It's one of the prettiest cars ever made, but don't tell him I said that. Morning, May. How much?
£13,500.
Oh, so £3,500 more than I paid for this vastly superior Alfa Romeo.
Well, £13,500 is a bargain for a car that is coach-built and extremely rare and beautiful.
But it isn't exotic like this is.
What do you mean it's not exotic?
OK, may I just talk you through some of this car's features, yes? Transaxle, gearbox at the back, twin-plate clutch, discs all round, unusual at the time. One of the best engines ever made, 2.5-litre V6. Those aren't my words, by the way. They are the words of James May in Car Magazine.
Yes, I did say that.
You love this engine.
I do.
And this has won the European Touring Car Championship 4 years on the trot. It won the British Touring Car Championship.
This has got race breeding as well.
What, the Gamma?
It's a Lancia. They're the most successful rallying team in history. Not my words, the words of Jeremy Clarkson. And that is a better-looking car.
What's in this?
Yes.
It is superb.
It's not superb.
I tell you what's not superb. Richard Hammond arriving in a Fiat X19. How much?
£2,250.
Somebody saw you coming, Hammond.
What? For a baby Ferrari? 2,200...
Did you just call it a baby Ferrari?
He did. Because it is mid-engined Italian. It's exactly what it is.
Well, listen to that sound.
I know.
That is the reassuring sound of tin on Russian steel.
It's a light, bright, effervescent sound, just like the car.
How many colours has this car been? It was black, then it was red, then it was white, then it was pale blue, and now it's purple.
I'd like to add, actually, it's not how many colours has this car been, how many cars has this been?
Well, quite. It's now going brown.
Brown, yeah.
All right, then, I'm not going to turn around and try and work out which Alfa you've bought.
The best
Oh,
Alfa.
it's a GTV6.
Exactly.
Yep. Why has it got this plastic bit in the middle of the bonnet?
Genius. The engine in this car had a small issue. It used to backfire, well, front fire actually, and blow the top off the engine, yeah? So that would damage the bonnet. So they put this plastic panel, which was easier to replace.
Why didn't they stop it backfiring?
Oh, don't be ridiculous.
They were busy.
Lazy. Can I just ask, what's that broom handle thing?
Well, then, this is another characteristic of the GT V6, is that when you park up, you need to keep the clutch pedal depressed, using a broom handle like that.
Right.
Otherwise, the clutch and the flywheel will fuse together.
I see.
You know, I used to own one of these. There's not a lot I don't know about it.
Yeah. When you used to own one of these,
Yeah.
how did you find the gear change?
Smooth, snicky.
No, it wasn't, was it?
No, those aren't quite the right words.
Terrible. What about second?
Yeah, second. I don't know, I never found it.
No, exactly.
Yes, let's not get bogged down with some of the Alfa's minor design flaws.
Disasters.
Because all three of us have got classic cars.
I have, yes.
For good money. We're in Scotland, so why don't we take them on a drive in... Well, let's be honest, Scotland is just a road trip.
Well,
I agree.
We could, while we're here, we could do the NC500. Which, I mean, that is it's
Voted by Condé Nast Traveller magazine, voted it the best road trip in the world last year.
Locks, mountains, it's just...
All the pretty bits, yeah.
No, it's all the best bits of Scotland, right?
Yeah.
500 miles round the north coast of Scotland.
In Italian exotic
That
cars.
would be... Oh, hang on.
What?
Text. Yeah. Mr. Willman. Mr. Willman. It says, those cars will not do 500 yards, leave alone 500 miles. So I've provided 3 backup vehicles which you can use to get home when they go wrong and catch fire and explode. I was wondering what they were.
Funny.
How did he know we were going to do 500 miles?
That's a good point, actually, because Hammond's only just suggested it. How did he know that?
How did he get 3 bicycles? Putting Mr. Willman's psychic powers to one side, we climbed aboard and set off into the giant oil painting that is Scotland.
Oh.
This isn't exactly like the tourist authority would have you believe, is it?
It doesn't look like it looks on the shortbread tins. This render that they put on everything is like a sort of
Batter for houses, isn't it?
Batter. I've battered my house. You can see why they want to be independent, can't you? Get away from us lot.
Well, you wouldn't want people coming in and messing all this up, would you?
I used to have a fiercely Scottish neighbour in London.
Why would a Scottish person go and live in London?
I don't know, because he'd do anything for Scotland, well, except live there.
Was he called Sean Connery?
Right, now we're alone, viewers. I can reveal that that windscreen wiper incident is really a bit of an aside compared with some of the other problems that this car has. Most of these relate to the engine, in particular the way Lancia mounted the power steering pump on the end of one of the camshafts. Basically, you can't really use full lock, especially when the engine's cold, otherwise the engine will explode. The thermostat was fitted in the wrong place, which leads to overheating very suddenly, and then the engine can explode. And there were some problems with the gasket materials, which causes the coolant to mix with the oil, with engine exploding sort of results, really.
James, I heard Wednesdays can cause your car to explode.
So you need to be careful tomorrow.
Proximity to trees, lakes, grass, heather, grouse, or tartan. All those things cause it to explode, I'm sure.
Look, I'm sitting here trying to explain to the viewers why the engine might explode, and I'm constantly interrupted with your stupid exploding engine jokes.
OK, carry on, but do it quickly before the engine explodes.
Meanwhile, in the GTV6... Oh, no, what's that? That third. Right, good. Third. Fourth? Yeah, fourth. Or is it fourth or second? I was getting reacquainted with all the peculiar little foibles. Driving position's not brilliant. Pedals are far too close to the seat, so you have to drive with your legs wide apart. Not so bad if you're a man. If you're a girl, though, trousers is a strategy you need to think about in the morning. However, despite all the weirdness, I do still absolutely love this thing. It was my ownership of a GTV6 that taught me what cars are all about. You need a personality, you need flaws for them to be human. And James May was right for the first time in his life, and only time in his life. This is one of the greatest engines ever made. The creamiest, the smoothest, and the most beautiful to listen to. That's not exhaust noise. That's an actual engine. As James and I enjoyed our classic thoroughbreds, Richard was driving along in his purple Fiat.
Unleash 80 horsepower. Oh, I mean, this thing only weighs 960 kilos. Fiat sold 170,000 X19s, so this doesn't have rarity like theirs does. But let's contrast rarity with the opposite, which is popularity. Because that's what this car was, immensely popular. And I have the pop-up headlamps. Oh, yeah. I'm going to pop them down again now. I can do that whenever I want. One slight complaint about the Fiat, the pedals are very, very small and very close together. And if you try and operate them with, let's say, your feet, you'll find that your feet are too big. Really, you just need to use a toe on each.
I have to say, the only reason why we met on a beach full of oil rigs and then drove through a council estate full of hypodermic needles is to annoy, well, simply and only to annoy our Scottish producer.
Yes, but we will not tell you Gav's name, we promise.
No, we won't. We won't say his name. Anyway, look, it all gets a lot sunnier and prettier in part two when we finally get on the North Coast 500, and we'll pick that up later on.
Yes, but now it's time to say hello to the old lady of debate who sits in the bus shelter of chat on Conversation Street.
I don't even remember that.
I don't remember that happening.
Anyway, I want to stick with the film in Scotland, if I may, James May, because at one point you said you put those plastic things on the back wheels of your Lancia because it was like putting insulating tape on the back wheels of a Scalextric car.
Yeah.
Who's ever done that?
Well, I have.
Yes, but you said it like it's one of those things that everybody's done.
He did.
It's like saying, well, remember when you stole your first pair of tights?
You know what it's like, Hammond, when you've got Marmite on your testicles?
Oh, yeah.
Hang on, Scalextric cars have too much grip.
No,
That's
they
the point.
don't. That's why they end up under the sofa. They haven't got any grip.
Every corner they fly off.
They've got too much grip, they oversteer suddenly and violently and you can't control it. If you put the insulating tape on the rear tyres, you reduce the grip and then you can slide them and drift them and you have control
Oh, my
of
God,
them.
you have actually done
Of course
that.
I've bloody done it!
Your childhood.
Who here has put insulating tape or any form of tape on the rear wheels of a Scalextric? There's no
That's nobody at all.
You
Why
have.
would you-
There.
How bored must you be to think, I know what I'll do today? Well, everyone apart from that lady over there has never put insulating. It's your worst explanation ever.
No,
see me
it's
after.
not. It's not. His worst explanation ever was when we were doing that water speed record, and he explained to you, to clear things up,
Yeah.
how the boat controls, which you can operate
Yeah.
on our pond bug, work the same way as aeroplane controls, which you can't operate.
Exactly. That is the James May way, explaining something you do understand in a way that you don't understand.
Look, hang on
That's
a
how
minute.
What?
Hold on a minute. You are a man who can't wind a wristwatch up without taking somebody's eye out, and you claimed in that film that you'd mended the prop shaft on that Alfa Romeo.
I did.
Did you?
Well, I made a phone call.
Did you?
Same thing. No, I made a phone call and a man, unbelievably, drove all the way from Wiltshire to Inverness with the spare part that I needed.
How generous. And then you mended it.
Well, I watched.
Yeah.
Actually, this is the part that broke. You can see the bit that came out there, yes? Mm-hmm. And apparently this is a known fault on a GTV6.
Everything is a known fault. A GTV6 is a known fault. Shall we just move this along now?
Yes, let's move it along to more actual conversation. Land Rover has announced that 70% of people suffer from motion sickness. And they say that in the future their cars will have a clever system that senses when you're getting car sick and then adjusts the cabin temperature and the suspension to cope. And I think that's a pretty good idea.
It's quite clever.
Yeah,
That
it
is quite interesting. Although I have to say I've never had any sort of motion sickness anywhere, but I'm very grateful because I once met a man who did have it. It was on a cross-channel ferry, very, very rough crossing. Everybody was being sick except me. And I went into the labs and there was this bloke and he was face down on the floor. You know, on a boat there's a little lip at the door to stop water getting out, and that was all full of sick. Oh, and as the boat rolled, this little sort of miniature tsunami sort of came and hit him in the face. And as I walked in, he looked up at me and he went, "Kill me." But the thing that was disturbing is I know he meant it. He did mean it.
I've actually... Anyone had seasickness? Because I have. You do genuinely want someone to kill you when you're seasick. You really do. You really do.
But the other thing that troubled me about that ship was there must have been, I don't know, 500 or 600 people on it. Everybody was hewing everywhere. Horizontal surfaces, vertical surfaces, the ceiling, the food, everything. What did they do with it when it got there?
Scuttle it.
I think they must have done.
Sometimes you've got no choice.
Yeah.
Happened to me. Our childhood car, Hillman Avenger, my little brother, vomited milk in the back of it. Scrapped it. It's gone.
Actually,
It's just...
OK, I'll own up to something.
Oh, are you sure?
I was driving through Corsica, a bit late for a plane. I had my son in the back. He was probably, I don't know, 9 or 10. Going quite quickly, and it's all mountainous roads, as you know, through Corsica, very hot day, and he vommed explosively, and the upholstery was that kind of textured velour. When we got to the car rental return place, still late for the plane, the guy's coming over to check the car. It's all right, mate, it's all in one piece, and folded the back seat down.
Oh, you did not?
Yeah, just there.
Oh, you sick man.
I know.
And left it?
Yeah, just left it round.
So, somewhere there is a kid who's paid €2 a day to clean out returned hire cars.
Yeah.
And he encountered that
Yeah,
horror.
ruined his life. But the reason we brought up all this car sickness stuff is the RAC, you know the RAC, always up to speed, the RAC is. It's put out some advice saying that parents can stop their children feeling sick if you can get them to look at the horizon rather than the screens on their mobile phones or tablets. Good luck with that.
That is not.
God, children, look at the horizon. It's more interesting than Angry Birds.
Yes,
or
RAC.
Fortnite.
Maybe you can persuade them to tidy their bedrooms afterwards as well.
Yeah. Anyway, that's sick covered. Let's move it along.
I'd like to move it on with some more conversation. Police in Dubai are testing a hover bike. But no, it actually is a hover bike. Here it is, look at that. Look at that! Oh, my God! It costs about £117,000. It can go at 60 miles an hour, fly for about 25 minutes. Look at that!
Yes, I can see a couple of things. As a police pursuit vehicle, problem. If you drove at 61 miles an hour, you'd get away from it.
Actually, you could drive at less than that, but for more than 25 minutes and still get away from it, so...
Or, and here's another one you haven't probably considered, if you fell off it, you're falling through your own propulsion device.
I don't care, because look at it. I want one of those more than I want both of my lungs. It is simply the best thing I've ever...
James,
I really want...
can you imagine Richard Hammond on one of those?
Literally minutes of fun.
Yeah. And then he would just be a mist. He'd just be a veneer all over the nearest building.
You'd actually be able to walk through Richard Hammond.
You'd be a puddle. There's a puddle of Richard Hammond.
All right.
Shit idea.
Right. A lot of people have got it into their heads that I don't like electric cars.
Well, with good reason, because every time you've got an electric car, you come back into the office on Monday morning with another dreary tale of woe.
That's because you can't charge them up.
Here we go.
You can't. Last weekend had a Jaguar I-Pace. Okay, now this is a really good car. This is why I have nothing against electric cars. That's the new Jag, and it is fabulous. Lovely to sit in, quick as hell. Better than a Tesla, by a long way, actually, in many, many ways. Brilliant. However, brought it up here, plugged it into my farm, and poof, instant darkness. Now, this is a farm that can supply all of Western Europe with vegetable oil for 1,000 years. Plug one Jag into it, and I'm in the 13th century. No electricity at all. I then took it to a friend's house, plugged it in there, where he's got more modern electricity, left it overnight, and it had only hoovered up enough electricity overnight to cover 29 miles.
That's because you're plugging it into a 14th century domestic socket. You're supposed to use a proper modern fast charger.
Well, how long would that take?
45 minutes.
I haven't got 45 minutes. I've only got 130,000 hours left, James, before I die. I'm not going to spend any of it... What?
Wait a minute. This is a new thing of yours that started. I've only got 130,000 hours.
It's dropping. Dropping now.
Where does... It's a lovely thought.
It is. Get on with it. I'm losing valuable time.
All right, I do want to know, though, where did that number come from? Why
Well, work it out. Have you got your phone on you?
Yes.
Because you always do, because he always forgets to leave it behind.
Yeah.
OK. How long do you think... Don't have to tell anyone. How many years do you think you've got left?
The calculator. Years I've got
Yeah,
left.
years. Then times that by 365.
Oh, I see.
Times it by 24.
Yeah.
How many hours have you got left?
394,200.
Right. Well, how much of that do you want to waste charging a car, sitting around while a car charges up? Or I went on the BBC iPlayer the other day, and it said, you've now got to register to use this. No, I haven't. I haven't got time to do that. I'll be dead by the time I'm finished.
I've got 14,200. Do that.
James!
What, hours?
Yeah.
That's a week on Tuesday.
Mate, the whole point of this exercise is you think of the bloody number. So, it's the rest of my life. I better not think of a big flamboyant number. I'll be modest.
Well, I'm going to be pleasantly surprised, hopefully.
Next week.
I think we can probably end Conversation Street there on James May's sad demise.
Bidding a fond farewell to Hammond's magnificent penis, we got back to the town where we'd started, Inverness.
Mission accomplished.
Well, there we are. In just 3 days, we have covered a staggering 287 miles.
Oh, well, yours was on an AA truck for a bit of it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But apart from one catastrophic failure that required somebody to drive from Swindon in Wiltshire all the way to Inverness with a spare part.
Don't forget that my windscreen wiper fell off as well.
Yeah, and one of my headlamps is stuck.
Yeah, but apart from those things, we have proved that it is still possible to buy and enjoy a classic car even if you're quite poor.
Yeah, we should be proud of that.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
And with that, back to the studio. Tent.
Tent.
Tent. Because we're quite poor.
Yes.
It's funny, isn't it? It's funny. Over the years, we have travelled the whole world looking for the best driving roads.
Yeah.
And it turns out it was just next door all along.
I have to say, I don't want to say this in front of our Scottish producer.
Do not name Gavin Whitehead.
No, I shan't. But that was just about the best drive I've ever had. That road, that scenery, that Alpha.
That party.
No, not the party, but everything else was... Well, it was perfection.
I do agree with you. I thought it was spectacular. But we should get back to the point of this film, which is that you can buy an affordable classic car that is also an investment.
Are you sure you want to raise this particular point, James? Why don't you tell the ladies and gentlemen how it worked out with your Lancia?
Well, OK, I spent £13,500 on the car, and when I got it home, I discovered that the price of putting it right was only £6,000.
So your investment has gone down by 45%.
Correct. Yes.
Now, my Alpha, as I said in the film, I have brought it home with me. And since we made that, which was April, so 6 months, 9 months ago, it's only cost £8,000 in repairs.
So your investment has gone down by 80%?
Yes, what about you?
100%.
Really?
Yeah. Day after we finished filming, the engine blew, car in the bin, all gone.
So to conclude then, all of us have lost some money and one of us has lost all of it.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Welcome to what is a Grand Tour special in which we go on vacation.
Yeah, let me explain. The other day, we were wondering why some people who want to visit the western bit of America choose to do so on an RV touring holiday.
It is very popular. I mean, we all have friends who have done it and they say they had a good time.
Sounds like caravanning to us, though, and you couldn't enjoy that unless you were mental. However, Mr. Willman says that since this is a motoring and travel and adventure show, he would rent us an RV, and then we could go over there to see if we could find out what the appeal is.
This was the location he chose. And this was the Winnebago Chieftain that he rented for us. And it was very terrible in every way. Chaps, if you'd like to brace, I'm going to put my foot down and see what she'll do. Happy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go. 40. 43. That's flat out.
This slowness put Hammond and me in a bad mood.
You're just helping yourself to cart.
Well, that was the idea. Just got to find all the cards that go together.
I have to have a turn as well.
That'll take ages.
Don't make my holiday worse than it already is.
It is pretty bad in here, isn't it? It's worse than I thought it would be. Who decided, yes, that wallpaper makes it look like home?
This material existed in the late 1960s in South Yorkshire. It's called Pleblon that we're sitting on, and this is Volgalore. RV design, as far as I can tell, stopped in 1972.
Yes. It's a different design language, and the language is shit.
But all of this doesn't trouble me half as much as that. We're here for a week. At no point will we be more than 12 feet from where the turds are stored. Here's turds. Look at this. That's the lavatory door. Look at it. This is unacceptable. What separates us from the animals is reason and defecating in private. You go somewhere comfortable, read a newspaper, do your business. You can't do that in there.
What is that shocking racket?
Everything.
Everything rattles because it's full of crap.
I can't do a week in here.
After just 5 miles, we'd had enough and pulled over for a cup of American coffee.
Right, recipe's very simple. Take a coffee bean, a razor blade, chop just the end off, lovely. Just lukewarm, yeah. Pop it in, mix it up till the water is just slightly coloured. Perfect.
So, in conclusion then, there is no appeal to an RV holiday, is there?
This whole experience wouldn't be so bad if we somehow could modify it so it's better to live in.
Well, and if we could have one each.
Well, why don't we do that?
Get one each?
Yeah, why don't we just get one each and then modify it to suit our particular requirements?
We don't have to have all of this. Offensive.
What do we want?
We therefore abandoned Mr. Willman's RV and went off to buy our own, which we'd then personalised to suit our individual holiday needs. This is what I've gone for. It's the Ford F550 National Tropical, and it's 36 feet long.
Why so massive?
I wanted to modify it in such a way that I brought a small taste of home with me. Can you guess what it is?
Brown furniture.
A tea cosy.
A rusty
No.
motorcycle.
No. Follow me.
What? Holy moly!
Whoa!
Yes, welcome to the Rack and Pinion. What will it be?
I'm in a pub.
I'm staggered.
It's got peanuts on the wall, terrible pictures.
Yes,
This is fabulous.
I know.
Warm brown beer.
Yep. Would you like a glass of Lady Petrol?
Is that rosé? Lady
Yes.
Petrol?
I've equipped it with your favourite drink.
What's that?
That's for you.
Rummy's Ruin.
It's gin.
Have you remembered to ensure there are sufficient urine traces in the peanuts?
Yes, I urinated on them myself.
Can I just ask, why have you got a drawing of 3 stroke victims on the wall?
That's us. What?
Dartboard.
Yes, it's a pub. Well, darts is a fine game and helps England win a lot of wars.
Darts is for people who have no conversation.
Rubbish.
Who wants to go to the pub and do maths?
It's no good coming in here telling me what you want your pub to be
I
like.
don't want
This
my
is my pub. This is what it's like. This is a traditional pub. This is what they look like.
This is great. It works. We're already talking pub bollocks.
James, it's my job to ridicule you, obviously. But I can't, because apart from the dartboard, you've done an incredible job.
Thank you.
But it isn't quite as incredible as the job I've done.
Whoa!
I've gone, as you can see, for a nautical theme.
Like in the desert.
Yes, bear with me. Two-tone paintwork, obviously. Jet ski on the back. And then, up on the top, and this really is the pièce de résistance, the flying bridge.
What, so you can drive it from outside?
Why would you not do that?
Because you built it.
I hate jet skis, by the way.
Yeah, I know, but it's just, you told me my hatred of darts is irrelevant. Your hatred...
does kept
look
mentioning it.
nautical. It does look.
Shoes
It
off,
even-
shoes off.
What?
Shoes off.
Why?
It's a boat.
Oh, I hate that. I could afford £2 million on a boat, but not a new bit of carpet if you get some dust on it off your shoes.
It's a bit Surrey.
Off.
Oh, God.
Right, good.
Right, boots are off. Whoa!
What?
Is this all bathroom?
Yes, obviously, with lavatory.
What?
Shower here, tiled, as you can see. Tasteful. Sink unit, vanity mirror, restrained. And just pop this open, like so.
Wow.
Lower the flap, which means that in the morning I can sit down and I can see the pub. As we know, luxury is defined by light and space. So this is a luxurious bar.
Correct.
And also, look, this is not some camping lavatory where you defecate on a piece of plastic. Observe.
That's the proper thing. Bang, where does that go?
Underneath the RV.
What, like a tank or something?
No, underneath the RV.
Well, you're going to drive off in your bathroom, leaving behind a mound of turds.
Yes.
Where are you going to sleep?
Here. This is the exact same width as my forearm.
Oh, yes.
Well, that's more of a cupboard, really, isn't it?
The roof, however, was a different story.
Whoa.
Oh, I say. Well, this is wasted space normally, isn't it?
Exactly.
It's pretty good, this, Hammond.
But hang on a minute.
What?
This is very impressive. It's very...
Oh, yes. Oh,
So this will be something to look forward to.
Yeah, don't let skin touch anything.
Right, so assuming you were able to sit in the scaldingly hot seat
Yes.
under the blazing sun,
Yes.
how does it work? Have you got brakes and accelerator and...
Accelerating. Braking.
Right.
Gears.
Oh, so it really is a boat.
Yeah. Look, the way I see it is this, gentlemen. Almost no one would want to go on holiday in a 36-foot caravan. But everybody would bite your arm off to go on holiday in a 36-foot gin palace.
You're right, they're not really that different,
No,
are
no,
they?
just one floats on water and one goes on land. Right, Hammond.
Yes.
Where's yours?
Over there.
What, behind the lorry?
No, it is the lorry, that's it.
That's not an RV.
It is. Look, it's big. I can sleep on it, and it's got a bike on the back. That's a recreational vehicle right there.
This we have got to see, May.
It's big, and it needs to move along, so a truck is the obvious answer. So
What
there's
sort of truck is it?
I don't know, truck.
These are the ones that used to be the U-Haul lorry. Oh,
You've still got the sign of the previous owner on it.
Doesn't matter. Come aboard, leave your shoes on, because this wood is very splintery. Here's the living accommodation.
What living accommodation?
There's a bed. There, bed. Telescope in case I get bored in the evening. And then rocking chair in case of visitors, and a motorcycle on the back.
So just 2 secs. Stacks.
Yeah?
Engine?
It's got V8.
Whose?
Mine now, I bought the truck.
You have made no effort whatsoever.
Oh, no, now I have, but I've distilled it down. I haven't wasted time and effort on complicated stuff I don't need. This is honest.
So when you come to my... I say, please, Jeremy, can I borrow your lavatory in the morning? I'm going to say no, because you accuse me of wasting time.
And if you want to come to my pub for a drink of your gin, which I've put on tap especially for you, I'll say, no, it's just a waste of time, Hammond.
Oh, I didn't realise we were setting up a sort of stock exchange of resources needed by the roaming camper.
Hammond?
Yes?
Your lorry, I'm not going to call it an RV...
It isn't an RV.
...is dismal.
God's truth.
I was kept awake for some time last night by the man in the neighbouring RV scratching his eczema.
Ooh.
Or he might have been sanding a table.
Now, I had a couple in the one next to me, and when I say next to me, I mean here.
Yes.
Why do they do that?
I don't know.
Nevada's massive. Why would you park your... Right, we're going to Nevada because it's massive and empty, and I'm going to park there so that they can hear the precise moment when my wife and I do grown-up things. We then discussed what holiday activity we'd do to fill the day. Balloon rides.
I hate balloons.
The world's largest gift shop.
No.
How do they know it's the world's largest?
Is it a shop containing the world's largest gift?
No. Yes.
Is there anything a bit more cultural, like Indian art? Or Native American, as we should say?
You just said Indian, you racist.
That's not actually racist
James, we're
anymore.
not going to look at Native American art. Native
not?
American, it's rubbish.
How do you know it's rubbish?
Because I've seen it, it's rubbish.
You haven't seen all of it.
Well, I've seen some of it. I've seen enough of it to know it's dreary.
Sunrise meditation.
Oh, that'd be good.
It isn't good. What would be good about
I
that?
don't know, because I haven't seen it, but I'm prepared to have a look.
Why don't we... You know those big Baja off-road 28-inch suspension travel things?
Dune racer type.
Dune racers?
Yeah.
Why don't we get 3 of those and belt around in the desert?
Yes.
Because that would be bovine, and I wouldn't learn anything from that. I'd rather go and do something cultural.
Blasting around the dunes sounds like fun.
Come on. I tell you what, you want to go and do Native American art. Mm-hmm. We want to go dune racing, yes?
Right.
Let's have a vote. Over. We fell asleep quickly that night, happy in the knowledge that the horror of our RV holiday was finally over.
But now it is time to buy a 4-pack of chat from the off-licence of debate on Conversation Street.
I remember that one. I enjoyed that one a lot. Anyway, Volkswagen, they've come up with a one-off racing car, all-electric, all-wheel drive. It's called the IDR. I've got a picture of it here. Now, what interests me about it is that there's a claim that it generates so much cornering force, it can cause the driver to black out.
Is that a good idea? A car that renders its driver unconscious?
Well, I mean, I just don't believe it. I know Kimi Raikkonen goes unconscious, but that's normally after the race in the hotel bar.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
Yes, it is.
That is Kimi's problem.
Well, the other problem with that is it's not lateral G that makes you go unconscious, is it? That's G from side to side. That's
Exactly.
Not really
Lateral
the
G is
issue.
what you get in a car, and it's where the blood goes from this, you know, side to, and it can only got that, and I'm wide, but it only goes that far.
Yeah, exactly.
So in your head, you've got one bit, yes, it's a bit drowsy and blackouty, but the other side of your head, when you're going around a corner, is really alert, because it's full of
No,
blood.
it's more interesting than that because different sides of your head do different things, don't they? So go that way and you'd be like, I want to be really precise and do science. Go this way, you'd be all creative. I just want to paint. Algebra. I just want to sing.
You know when motor racing commentators always talk about that car's got 5G going through that car, you think this means 5 lateral G.
Yes, exactly.
It's not the same 5G you get in a fighter plane when you've got the blood's going effectively from the top of your head down to the bottom of your feet, which is a very long way. So your head empties, and that's when you do black out.
Yes, exactly. And it used to be alleged that Douglas Bader could pull tighter turns in his Hurricane than other pilots because he didn't have any legs, so the blood couldn't go into them. It stayed in his body.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, apparently so.
Didn't that mean he'd just get a big stiffy?
Well,
Because all his... It's science! That is medical science!
right.
All his blood went there.
He did. He used to be known during the Battle of Britain as Douglas Boner.
My joystick's broken. Oh, I've got the wrong one.
Oh, I love a dogfight. And we move on. Now, you might be wondering why we haven't featured the Rolls-Royce Cullinan, their new sort of super luxury SUV, on this series. And that's because Rolls-Royce did express some reservations about lending us one because they said they were worried we might say it was ugly.
Why would they think that?
Because they've seen it.
You actually got a picture of the Cullinan here. There it is.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, sorry.
Yes. It's a very interesting car for sure, and I don't doubt that it's exquisite to drive and to sit in.
But it is disgusting to look at, isn't it? That's the main thing.
I've been thinking about this, OK? You might want to drive one, you might want to own one, but at some point you're going to have to come out of your house and walk up to it and you're going to see it. So I was wondering, could you dig a tunnel, if you had one, from your cellar, and then that emerges underneath it?
Then you wouldn't have to look at it.
Exactly.
No, wait, you'd have to cut a hole in the bottom of your Rolls-Royce to get in, and nobody's going to do that.
Well, what if you fitted the Cullinan with, you know that magic glass that is clear when you look through it at right angles, but if you look through it at any other angle, it's sort of frosted, so you can't...
That won't work.
How do you know?
Because I've got that, and I genuinely have got that in the bathroom in my flat in London.
Right.
Now, for 6 years, I've been taking showers by the window, cleaning my gentleman's area very thoroughly, and sometimes quite quickly.
OK.
And... They were actually not making this up. The floor is 6 stories down, the pavement. You go, well, I can't see that, so nobody down there can see me. But a friend came round the other day and said, you know, you can be seen from the street and you're in the...
my God.
Seriously.
But you can't see out when you're in the shower?
No, exactly, I said.
Well, the builder put the glass in the wrong way round, didn't he?
He must have done.
Yeah, I think that builder saw you coming. I think the only answer for Rolls-Royce...
Hold on. I just heard... Is there a phone in there?
No, you had a stroke. Again.
I'm sure I heard a phone. Wait a minute. No,
School alarm, I'm sorry.
Was it you?
No, it's my school alarm, I'm sorry.
Your what alarm?
My school alarm to pick my kids up from school.
Oh, well, you're a terrible parent! Oh, ladies and gentlemen, the art of great parenting.
I was going to say, we're going to call the NSPCC on you. How old are your children?
11.
Oh, for God's sake!
She still hasn't moved. Oh, they'll be
9,
fine.
8 and
I wasn't that interested. We've established they're not in their 30s, is what I was trying to say.
Meanwhile...
Right. Yes.
I don't think that one-way glass that isn't one way is going to work. So I think, really, Rolls-Royce's only hope with that new car is they're going to have to hope they can find a lot of very rich people with absolutely no taste. That's the only chance they got.
Well, where are they going to find people like that, I wonder?
Well, there's Cheshire.
Yeah.
Dubai.
Solihull, Monaco, Moscow.
Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
They're going to sell millions of them.
Yeah, they are.
Massive hit.
Now, there's a man in Nottingham. He's building a house, and he's told the planners that outside the big empty area is actually a landing pad for a self-driving electric flying car.
Yeah, that sounds like what he's built as a helicopter landing pad.
Yes, it does. Does sound very like that.
Yeah, unless he's planning to land there in the new Aston Martin flying car. Looks very
No,
cool.
No, Hammond, that's not a flying car. That's just a drawing of something that'll never happen. It won't.
No, it won't, but somebody has actually made a real flying car, and I've got a picture of that. That is...
That's practical.
Pretty dreary, actually, isn't it?
Well, the fact is that you can't drive that on the road, because if you took it into town and someone dinged the bottom of the folded-away wing, you couldn't fly it then. Nobody flies in a bent aeroplane.
No, exactly. And when are people going to get it into their heads that a flying car is an aeroplane? Because if your car flies, why the bloody hell would you drive anywhere? I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
Or worse, you're driving that, not feeling at all self-conscious around the M25. You hear there's a bit of a traffic jam ahead, so you think, right, I'll lower the wings, build up to a take-off speed of, 120, 150. The police are going to go, what the bloody hell are you doing?
Yeah, they're going to have a word.
They are
And
gonna have a
anyway, you'd need to get a pilot's licence to operate that, and that takes months, and people...
And then you'd have to learn to talk that gobbledygook, you two.
No, you'd have to learn to communicate in the air with... You have
Yes,
to
I
do
know,
that.
but you two don't talk English when you get up in there.
No, there's a language that's so you can pass information quickly and
What are
clearly.
you an alphabet for?
So you say-
Obviously, did you come through the alpha vector on the 3 approach to 4 LH? Cool. I had to get on the tower
It's
and say
about
I was...
controlled
I'll say
airspace.
I was mug, paper, picture, Oscar. Why do you have to have a word for a letter?
So I think you know what the letter is because a P and a B on a crackly radio sound the same.
Is that why you call him a bunt all the time?
Yes.
That's exactly right, so that it's clear. Now, there is a new report which says the Scottish are the best drivers in the world.
And if you think about it, they've got Jim Clark, Jackie Stewart, David Coulthard, Frank Kitty, Alan McNish, what?
No, not best in that way. They mean the safest drivers in the world. That's what they mean.
Well, safest drivers aren't the best drivers.
Well, they sort of are.
Well, they aren't. No, because if that were true, if you think about it, then I would be a better driver than Jackie Stewart because I've had fewer crashes.
Yes,
but I'm not better, am I?
No, you're emphatically not.
Exactly.
But what they're saying is that actually it's 51% of Scottish drivers have never been in an accident. 51%.
That's not that good, though. That means that 49% of Scottish people have been in an accident. That's nearly half of them.
Well...
No, but it's never is the big word, though, isn't it? I mean, never... Who here's never had an accident? It's quite... Never? But how long have you been driving?
1 month.
Oh, well done. You're doing well. Keep it up. Keep going.
Well, that's better than you did.
That's quite a record. I'd love
I
to.
did 36 hours before I was off the road with no wheels on the car. They would drop that. Yeah, well, that hasn't worked out quite as well as I'd hoped. That is the end of Conversation Street.
Anyway, now it's time to bite into a cake of debate from the Cafe of Chat on the corner of Conversation Street.
I think after 36 of those, we were running out of ideas.
I was getting desperate.
Now, any young people here looking forward to driving maybe one day, thinking the future holds a Ferrari for you, Lamborghini? Afraid not. There's a company in Aberdeen who've decided that the future actually will look like this.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
They're actually
electric?
Yes. Yeah, they are. Of course, they're electric, obviously. Range of 35 miles. They're stackable cars.
Wait, so they work like the human centipede, then?
Not exactly like that,
No. What I mean is, they're all connected together.
Yeah,
That's
they're
the key.
connected. Exactly,
Yeah.
they're connected.
So hang on, what if you're in the one in the middle,
Yeah.
right, and you want to go a different way to the one in the front? What are you going to do? You can't...
Well, no, it's worse than that, actually, because what if you're in the one in the middle and you go a different way? You're not going to have any wheels, because they're going to be left attached to the ones at the front
there's
and the
not
back.
enough wheels.
No, it does look like that, I grant you. It looks ridiculous that the front and the back separated. Well, I've got no bloody wheels. But no, actually, it's an optical illusion. The back wheels are inboard, so you do have wheels.
Yeah, but what if you were in the back one and it was being driven by Richard Hammond from the front? You'd be bloody terrified,
Oh, all
wouldn't you?
right.
Yes, that is a point, but I don't think you quite understand how this works. Now, wait a
No, I
minute,
don't.
because I need to check it out, right? It's quite complicated, so bear with me. You see, the idea is these cars are sort of everywhere for people to use, yes? And then at night, a man goes round in the green one, the one at front, and he collects all the others up behind him. He's a bit like those men you see at airports, you know, with all the trolleys, and you end up with that big 2-mile snake that bashes into your ankles.
Oh, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like that.
So he gathers them all up.
So hang on a minute. You drive home in the evening, say, in your car, and you get it the next morning, but it's gone because the bloke's collected it. Is that...
Yeah.
That doesn't work, because most journeys by car are two-way. You get there, then you need to get back, unless you're driving to Dignitas. No, they work for that.
Well, maybe it's a Dignitas collection service. Look, the thing is, I'm going to try and work out how it actually... It's quite complicated. They have actually... There is a flow chart that explains how it works. I'm going to put that up, you see. Here we are.
Oh, I see. So you're stabbed in the back with a giant fork and a briefcase. Then you bump into 1 2/3 cars that turn into half a car, that crash into a picture of a train. This makes no sense at all.
No.
No, hang on a minute. So you've got that wrong, Hammond. You get into 2 cars, but you only drive off in 3/4 of one, and you go to the station because presumably you're going somewhere, but whilst you're going somewhere, somebody takes it away and puts it back, so when you get back to the station, you haven't got a bloody car anymore.
Look, no, what they're saying is the future is going to be very inconvenient.
Yeah, it sounds that way.
That's basically what they're actually saying.
I've got a blindingly good idea. I'd like to run this by you.
Sure.
In like a committee fashion. What if we had a car of our own? You could buy it,
or lease it, but it was like your car, and then, no, it's crazy, I know. Then there'd be a pretty good chance it would be wherever it was when you last left it, when you came back to it.
So all these people, you've left cars in the car park here, have you? So they'd still be there.
That's exactly
They're
it.
going to be collected up
That's
by
exactly
a random
it. So
stranger.
imagine this, you go out and your car's still there. It's brilliant.
Let me run with that, if I may. What if you could run these cars on a kind of magic juice? Takes 2 or 3 minutes to replenish them. You go hundreds of miles.
What magic juice?
Well, you could get it from underground.
What's it made of?
Squash prawns.
It's all sounding a bit improbable, mate. That'll...
Well, let's take on the company from Aberdeen and see who gets it more right. Can I talk about Robert Kubica? Polish Formula One driver. There's a picture of him there. Now, a few years ago, 8 years ago, actually, he had a terrible accident while doing a spot of rallying for fun. That was the car. You see the crash barrier went into the car. Broke every single bone on the right-hand side of his body, everything from his heel to his shoulder. Had a 7-hour operation to put his arm back on again, and then 17 more operations after that. And his arm still doesn't work properly, but this weekend, he is back in a Formula One car. And I'd just like to say, bloody brilliant. What a man. Like, Mark Webber, OK, the Aussie F1 guy, former F1 guy, he welcomed him back to Formula One by tweeting, "Palin's man is coming back. What a warrior and tenacious prick he is."
To be fair, for an Australian, that is getting quite soppy and sentimental.
It is. Yeah, he's a prick. Oh, now, as I'm sure you know, there's a lot of work going on at the moment with sort of electric cars and driverless cars and the future of transportation and so on.
Yes, we have noticed.
Yes, exactly. All I want is something that stops things falling down the side of the seat when you're driving along. I want the car I've got now, but just something that stops that happening.
That's it.
That is the sum total of your ambition.
Yes, it is,
At this period of fundamental change in the whole concept of car ownership, car usage, car functionality...
That's all I want. Something that stops... Because when you drive... They say it's dangerous to tweet when you're driving, yeah?
Yeah.
Driving along like that, and you say, "Oh, no, I've dropped my phone." Drive down there. You've got the seat lifted up, your head squatted, you're desperately shoving your hand down there, like... shoving it in, and all the skin's been peeled back like a side. You go, "No, I'll get it.
Like a determined vet.
Exactly. Exactly. And it just... Not exactly. Sort
Come
of
on,
like...
Mole, give birth! It's burst!
Why can't we just have a little bit of a flap? I mean, I'm doing it on this side because we're all British, but, you know, over here, whatever side... The sense of a little flap of material that stops things going down. I mean, how hard can that be?
I know
really?
what you mean. It is an issue. I once looked under the driver's seat of my 911, and you'll remember this. I found 8 pairs of sunglasses that I've lost and replaced. 8. Just all under
house keys, ingots, relatives. And eventually you do drop something. You know what it's like when you drop something, you think, I really do need to get that back. So you have to stop. And then you can't get it from here, and you can't get it from here. So then you have to go round the back. And then you can never quite get in properly, so you've got your hand under it, like this.
You're acting...
And there's always what feels like a bit of furry mucus.
No, there is.
Like,
You've seen it.
That is a hairy tumour. And it's squidgy. And it always is one of those, and it's always on top of whatever it was you lost.
Do you know, the Holy Grail will probably turn up under somebody's driving seat.
It will. I tell you what, if you went underneath everybody's seat, if you all tonight, when you go back to the car, have a look under your car seats, you will find enough loose change to pay for Brexit.
It could do it. It could
I reckon we could pretty much pay the whole lot. Who's with me on this? Yeah. Would you rather... There you go, you see, they actually think there's applauding. Well, 3 people applauded my idea. James.
What?
Interesting news.
Oh, God.
What do you mean, oh, God?
Well, whenever one of you two says interesting news, it turns out to be about the war.
No, this isn't about the war. This is interesting news about the speed of different birds.
Oh, yes. That's even worse!
Oh, I love this.
We've talked about this before.
Yes, they've been going on about this ever since he claimed to have clocked a pigeon doing 25 miles an hour.
I did. I was driving alongside. There was a pigeon that was doing 25. Anyway, a Swiss speed camera has clocked a duck. OK, it's clocked a duck. It's actually triggered the camera. Got a picture here, look, proving it. Look, the duck set it that. And it took a picture of a duck.
How fast was it going?
32 miles an hour.
There you go. 30... See, that's quite incredible, because if I was asked, I'd say a duck would do 20 or
It's
25. 'cause they're
not quite incredible, neither is it remotely interesting.
It is interesting.
It's just...
It's a piece of knowledge, Hammond. How can the world be a poorer place for having a bit more knowledge in it?
Exactly.
Because that knowledge is peculiar and strange and doesn't matter a bugger to anyone.
You're not going to be mocking when your button's in the Panto in Swindon and Jeremy and I are waving at each other from our super yachts because of the global success of our television series, James and Jeremy's The Speed of Birds. It's going to be absolutely massive.
Who'd watch that?
Come on, who'd watch The Speed of Birds? There you
I
go.
want to see him as Buttons at the Swindon Wyvern.
Hey.
No! Never! I think that marks the end of Conversation
Yes.
Street.
I think it does. I think I'll move it on because all of us agree that we do love a hot hatchback.
Yeah, we love that they're practical, cheap to run, cheap to repair, but they still go like demented baboons.
Yeah, and now there's a new breed of small hot hatchback. And to find which one is best, we took the grand tour to that field just over there. Yes, the start point for our test was our own track in Oxfordshire. And this is what we'd assembled. I've brought the new Volkswagen Polo GTI, which has 197 horsepower. Richard Hammond has brought the new Ford Fiesta ST, which also has 197 horsepower. James May has brought the new Toyota Yaris, which has a ridiculous name, the How do you say that?
Gruminer.
It isn't Gruminer. There's no at the end. It says Grum.
It is a funny name.
What does it mean?
Gazoo Racing, Meisters of the Nürburgring.
Oh, your favourite place!
That's where it was developed.
And what is Gazoo Racing?
Gazoo Racing is Toyota's racing division. This has been done by a small group of people dedicating themselves over 2 years to making this the perfect hot hatch. Stiffened body shell, shorter springs, sax dampers. It's got a supercharger, it's got special forged wheels, it's got special tyres, it's got stiffened anti-roll bars, it's even got a different steering rack from the standard Yaris. That's proper hot hatch technology.
My car is just over 21,000. Yours is what? Just shy of 20?
Just shy of 20.
Yeah, just under 20. Over £26,000.
And worth every penny, because it's properly developed as a hot hatchback.
It's not a pretty car.
It's
I
like
think
it's
it
put
is.
makeup on one eye. Slightly mad makeup on one eye. It's like Kiss.
It's like watching my daughters get ready in the morning. Am I done? Yeah, you're done.
Yours is a brown car.
It's not brown.
That is brown.
Oh, yeah, it is.
It isn't. It's mushroom.
The cameramen know about colour. Is it brown?
It's brown.
Definitely brown.
Brown.
It's brown. There you
It's
go.
mushroom. OK, what we've got here is the scoreboard that'll help us determine which is the best of the small hot hatches. We've already filled in the scores for Price, the pursuit race and the drag race. Now we've got the paparazzi thing. Hammond, how did you get on?
Well, you two put the pap in a bag, didn't you?
Well, we did, but actually, we should sell those bags to celebrities.
You should, because they're rather clever. You pull a drawstring, and not only can't you take any pictures, you can't get out of the car.
Yes, it's also technically false imprisonment.
Yes.
And
Well, yeah,
therefore
but
illegal.
so's trapping a wasp in a jam jar. Nobody complains about that, do they?
Yes,
So-
well, anyway, it didn't work because obviously there must have been another pap that we didn't spot because this picture appeared. Ha ha! Ha ha ha!
No. Wait a minute. The rules said it had to have the car in it, and I
did.
don't see the car in that picture.
It also said Mail Online, and I'm guessing there's some evidence to suggest that is the Sun.
Yeah,
I think it's the Sun.
I hoped you wouldn't spot that.
Yeah, we did.
I didn't do very well.
I think that gives you a 0, Hammond.
Yeah, so you get a 0. Now, James May, how did you get on taking the older woman out for a curry in Hammersmith and then parking your car in an underground car park?
Not that well, actually.
How not that well?
Not that well.
Okay.
Not a single thing. My plan was rather successful.
Was it?
49 pictures appeared of my car and me and Binky in the Mail Online.
49?
49 pictures.
Well, hang on a minute. 49 pictures of a fat old bloke and a young girl I've never heard of changing a wheel.
I know, and the extraordinary thing is, I'd like to show you the 49 pictures, but got in touch with the Mail Online yesterday, OK, to say, can we have the pictures? Do you want to know how much they were going to charge? £122,000.
What?
Really?
I kid you not. They take a picture of me, they ruin my life, and then for me to buy the picture back, is £122,000.
There are 49 pictures on
No,
there of
40.
you.
Don't show the cameras, otherwise there'll be a bill for 120 grand. But the good thing is...
Exactly, because of that, you score 49.
Yep,
Yes,
I'm afraid
I
he does.
do.
There's no
Right.
getting around
Yes,
that.
I do. Which moves us on to
49.
Instagram.
OK.
James May, how did you do with your picture on the bus?
I scored 0.
Naught.
Yeah.
Nobody get naught.
Well, it's quite interesting. You see, I didn't have an Instagram account, so I set one up. No, but
That's a
hang on.
surprise.
No, but I set one up, and then as I was setting it up, I realised there was someone else on Instagram pretending to be me. So I filled in that reporting thing that pulls down, you know, and I sent it off. And all credit to Instagram, they reacted very quickly. By that afternoon, in fact, and they shut me down.
You?
Yeah, they didn't shut down the fake James May. They shut the real one down.
They
So-
killed the wrong James May.
Yeah.
OK, well, that's quite interesting. What's interesting me, though, is that there's a man somewhere out in the world, or woman, who's thought, I could pretend to be anyone I like. I shall pretend to be James May.
I know.
It's not very ambitious,
Well,
is it?
but George Clooney.
I know, but anyway, the net result of that, as they say in the army, is that I have naught.
Naught. You're
Yes.
doing very well
I've
here,
got
aren't
one,
you?
yeah. This is good.
So, Hammond, how did you get on?
Well, my picture was brilliant. Look at it. It's out. Look at that.
No, that is,
good.
apart
Yeah.
from the slogan with the sexual intercourse
was- yeah,
enthusiast,
it was awkward, yeah.
that is an amazing photograph, granted. So, how many people have viewed it and liked it on Instagram?
9.
Well, they block you as well?
9. No. You see, I don't really do Instagram,
Yeah.
so I don't have many followers, so only 9 people have seen it.
Oh, dear, because I got 54,000.
Oh, for God's sake! Yes, but you do Instagram.
Yes, I do.
So you got lots
Yes,
of
I did.
followers.
So put 54,000.
Hang on a minute, let's look at this in a more positive light, Hammond. He has got 1.6 million Instagram followers.
Yes.
So 1.46 million people actively didn't like his picture. That's a good way of looking at it.
That's a lose,
It wasn't
really.
my best work, I admit. It was a horrid shot.
What was it?
54,000.
That does change the scoreline a bit.
Changed the
doesn't it?
scoreline a lot, because I'm now on 54,053.
Right,
And
okay.
you're on 1.
Yeah, I'm on one.
Anyway, it gets worse, I'm afraid, for you two, because YouTube. I didn't add them all up, but my first David Soufflé video on YouTube, 266,000 views.
God.
More than 250,000 people.
You are ahead now.
Yes, I'm that's just comfortably in the lead, I would
Yeah.
say.
Yes.
So come on, Hammond.
Hammond.
16,800.
What, for all that effort?
I know! I don't get it either because I gave it a really cool, tempting caption. It said, look, epic street fight broken up by Ryan Gosling and Channing Tatum whilst Prince Philip tightrope walks between 2 cars. Who
you
doesn't want to look at that?
You actually put that as the caption?
That's what it said. It's clickbait,
And then the
isn't it?
YouTube millennials
Yes.
thought, no, I'd rather watch a cat going...
Well,
That's
they must have done.
ridiculous. That is... I'm sorry, that is pathetic. Young people, you're pathetic. Right, so there we are. Those are the scores at the moment. You're out.
Yes.
And James, I'm looking and I'm thinking, and just a quick adding up, unless you manage to find 325,000 people who are prepared to spend 16 minutes, because that's how long that unboxing video was, 16 minutes watching you taking a small Toyota hatchback out of a cardboard box, I've won.
Yes.
So?
330,000.
Out of a box. Oh, he's doing the dance. You see this dance? How does he always manage to win?
Well, I think on this occasion it was partly because you tried to appeal to millennials by creating a fast show type character when nobody under 40 has ever heard of the fast show.
No, that's exactly right. You might as well have done the comedy adventures of Neville Chamberlain in 1939. That would have been better.
So, because there are more people who'd rather watch an old man take a small car out of a box than watch him endangering an office junior or me wearing a moustache, we have to deduce that the best of these small hot hatchbacks is comfortably the worst.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to what is a Grand Tour mini special. It's all based around here in this rather troubled part of the world. You've got Syria and Iraq and Iran sort of at the bottom, and then at the top you've got Russia. But in between you have this sliver of peace and prosperity. And that got us thinking. You see, if you live on the shores of the Black Sea and you're partial to a bit of fish, you're fine. But what if you like bream? See, bream likes freshwater, and the Black Sea is salty. Nearest freshwater is all the way over here in the Caspian, and that is 1,000 kilometres away.
Yeah, so we were wondering, if you have to drive all that way for your supper, what would be the best car?
Obviously, you'd need some sort of GT, but which one? The new Aston Martin DBS, the new Bentley Continental GT, or the newer BMW 8 Series?
Now, this is exactly the sort of question this show was designed to answer. So, this week, we took the Grand Tour to Batumi in the former Soviet state of Georgia. The meeting point was on the shores of the Black Sea, and naturally enough, James May was the last to arrive in the new BMW 8 Series. God, it doesn't look anything like as good in the flesh as it does in the pictures.
It is disappointing in the metal. I'm afraid that's the case.
And brown!
What?
Brown!
It's sunburst orange.
Mate, that's a brown car.
It's sunburst orange, it's not brown.
It's brown!
Orange.
And it looks very like a Toyota.
Is
No,
it
it doesn't.
on delivery wheels? Are they specially for delivering it?
What are you talking
No,
about?
there's
Like
little
casters.
wheels that they can move it around
that's what I
on.
mean, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Well, they're not big enough, are they?
Can you have a 22-inch wheel?
No.
Why not?
Well, why would you want a 22-inch wheel?
Because
It
then
would
it would-
spoil the ride.
Would fill the arches.
Yeah.
Oh! And I suspect criminal offence.
What?
Anyone who puts an M badge on a BMW that isn't an M BMW has to go to prison.
So this is one of those M cars that isn't an M
It
car.
isn't
They've
an
done
M
that
car,
before.
is it?
No, it's not the M8. That
why does
comes
it say
later.
M on it?
Because it's the M Sport, in effect.
So
It's
M
not a fake.
Sport just means not an M, doesn't it?
But it's in between the M and the normal cars. That's why you have M Sport 5 Series,
Not
for
an M.
example.
This is like Elton John's greatest hits without your song or Tiny Dancer on it.
James, I don't want to be childish about this now, but I hate...
Do you not?
I hate
But
your,
you're going to.
I hate your gear lever.
I love it.
Look at it.
I think that's fantastic.
And the rest, it's horrible gear lever and a boring interior.
That's contemporary and tasteful. Let's have a look at yours. What have you got? You've got
Oh,
the new
where?
Bentley
Oh,
that's
the
the same
massive
as the
Bentley.
old Bentley.
Apart from being a completely new car.
Yeah, but it looks the same.
It doesn't look the same. It's completely different front end, different sides.
Oh, no, it looks like an
different back.
Aventador. No.
It's a completely new car.
This monochrome Union Jack applied by Germans.
Yes. There is some German influence.
Chassis, German.
Yeah,
Engine,
yeah,
German.
yeah. Oh, no! The Germans have done all the tech and engineering. No, wait, it'll be brilliant. What?
It's a bit...
It's
I
beautiful.
use the word advise. It's a bit camp.
That is a special...
camp.
It is.
What's camp
It's
about
all
that?
pleated and leathery and... Oh.
It does give good occasion now.
That is a special event.
Does Liberace pop up out of the centre console and play the piano for you?
You see, the reason I'm not having a go at your interior is my Aston has been delivered with Birmingham spec.
That's horrible.
Oh, that's quite vivid, isn't it? I mean, worryingly for you, I quite like that.
You like that? Exactly.
So this is it's a DB11
No, it's the DBS. Superleggera.
because it's very light, isn't it?
Is it?
That's what Superleggera means, yeah.
It's 72 kilograms lighter than a DB11.
And no more expensive.
Well, it's a bit more expensive.
How much more expensive?
It's £67,000 more
Yes.
than DB11.
And how much is it?
A lot.
Is it something like £250,000?
No!
What is it then?
It's a bit less.
230?
A bit less.
225?
Yes.
Mine's £100,000. It's contemporary and it's modern. There's no good saying, oh, it looks Japanese, as if that's a slur. The Japanese advanced the
that just
car
means a bit-
massively.
A bream's fish.
No, Hammond, they're cows. Of course they're fish.
I don't like fish.
Well, on that terrible disappointment,
For him.
back to the tent.
Why did you say back to the tent, you idiot?
Oh, right, I've got biscuit.
Do that
on special.
I know. It flipped out.
Well, no,
Never do that.
It gives us a chance at least to say how good GT cars are. I love them. The rear front engine at the front and all the power you need. They're everything you want in a car.
You know, I agree. The BMW was the best as well.
Eh?
Yes, but James, why don't you tell the ladies and gentlemen about the BMW's lane departure system? You know, the one that keeps you in the white lines when you're driving along?
Yeah, well, the thing is, it was a pre-production car, so it had a slight glitch in it and you couldn't turn it off. And it's quite annoying on the road, you know, because it does that. But on the track, the problem is that you aim for a perfect apex, but the car thinks he's about to have an accident, and then it just throws you back into the middle of the track again. It's extremely irritating.
There was that, which you moaned about a lot, and the gearbox.
Yeah, the gearbox. Well, the problem there is the display on the dash, there's two of them. One of them says what gear you've selected, but the other one says what gear the car thinks you should be in. So, again, on the track, you'd be driving on going, here comes the left-hand man, right down to second, then the car would go, seventh?
That is annoying.
It's basically Germans saying that England knows nothing here.
Exactly. But it was bloody fast, the BMW. It was excellent.
But I still think the Bentley was the best. It was the best.
Well, I agree.
What?
I agree. Look, I really like the DBS, OK? It was a fantastic car. I like the DB11 as well, and the Vantage. But for doing that journey, I'd choose the Bentley.
Yeah, wait a minute. Haven't you just recommended the Aston Martin DBS to a friend of yours?
Yes, I have.
And has he since bought one?
Yes, he has.
We must move on, because now it is time for us to score a bag of chat from the dealer of debate on Conversation Street. I like that one. I really like that one. My favourite.
I don't even remember my head coming off.
I do.
Well, anyway, look, let's get on with it. I've got some very interesting news for you, James.
Oh, God, not more speed of bloody birds, please.
Is it?
No. Speed of fish.
Oh, for God's sake, no!
Go on.
OK, how fast do you think a salmon can cross a road?
Salmon don't cross roads. You're thinking of a chicken.
You say that. Watch this piece of footage I found on the internet. Look at that.
What, are they salmon? They're fish.
It's actually salmons.
Oh, no, that is actually quite interesting.
It is. Look at them. There's hundreds of them all going across a road.
What are they doing?
This is the interesting thing. See, if I were a salmon, and they have to go back to their breeding ground, or spawning ground, don't they? I wouldn't be bothered. I'd just stay on the other side of I'll have the baby here. I mean, when my children were born, I think, I've got to get back to Doncaster. They just went to the nearest hospital. No, salmon are very determined. You have to respect them for that.
No, you do. Actually, fish, I think, are pretty cool. Actually, is it not remarkable that car makers have never named cars after fish?
Good conversation.
It is. They've named them after, you know...
Big cats they've done.
Birds, lots of birds.
Done.
The
Greek
weather.
fish, Greek gods.
Yeah, why has there never been a Ferrari salmon? Determined, agile, good at cornering, Lamborghini tuna.
Well, yeah, I was going to... The tuna is a very fast fish,
40 miles an hour,
yeah,
a tuna will go.
That's like faster than a speedboat.
Faster than a jet ski you rent on holiday.
It's a brilliant idea. I can't wait for the Ford Haddock.
Can anyone think of a car that's been named after a fish? Oh, no, the turkey. Yeah.
There's a stingray.
So stingray, yes. Barracuda, manta.
Manta.
Isn't it amazing how all cars are named after fish?
Yeah, we can
It's an astonishing thing.
We can edit all that other stuff out. Yeah, the audience knows a lot more than we do. That's basically what we're talking about. I had completely forgotten about the Barracuda. Plymouth Barracuda, yeah, and the Opel. Yes, absolutely. Now, you know we've always said that Canada is God's pantry.
Yes.
Yeah, and that Saudi Arabia is his petrol station.
Yeah, Lancashire is his cupboard under the stairs.
Yeah, this
Our
is his wind
tent's
tunnel.
about to blow down.
Exactly, this is the wind tunnel.
France is his drinks globe.
France is the drinks globe.
Argentina is his cesspit.
Yeah.
Bolivia is his...
Yeah, it is. You've really got that one. Yeah. The point I'm trying to make, though, is, as we've always agreed, Italy is his racetrack. Yes, this is a known fact. We saw it earlier with the Integrale and the Stratos. Now, this is a point that's been proved because the mayor of a small hamlet called Aquetico near the French border, he installed a speed camera on a 2-week trial period, OK? Now, we've got a picture of the village in question here.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, we're not talking about a vast metropolis here. Now, in the 2-week trial period of the speed camera, the number of people it caught breaking the speed limit was 58,560.
There! In that village?
58,500 in 2 weeks.
They can't help themselves, the Italians,
No, they
can
can't.
they?
Wait a minute, that many in 2 weeks. During the, let's assume it was quieter at night.
Yeah.
It looks it.
Yes.
So during the day, there must have been at least one car every 10 seconds setting the camera off.
Listen, people have been done twice a day on the way to work. No, wait, on the way to work, then back for lunch, then back to work, then back home.
It's happened again.
He's flashing, he's annoying. What I love, though, is the mayor is still deciding whether a speed camera is necessary.
What does he want?
He actually, no, he's quoted in one of the papers I read the other day as saying, well, the problem is we have good asphalt and long, continuous bends. So he's basically saying, look, it's a really nice road, so of course people are going to speed.
Plus, we're Italian, so what do you
It doesn't.
expect? Oh, good effort.
Meanwhile, in the UK, things are rather different. There's a man in Bedfordshire, right, which is a county in England land, if you're watching elsewhere, and he's put a fake speed camera on the side of his house, which is by the A1. Now, we've got a picture of it here. As you can see, it is very realistic. Would you agree, yeah?
Completely.
And he's been told to take it down because the highways agencies say it's distracting drivers.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
The Highways Agency have said something that looks exactly like a speed camera is distracting drivers.
Yeah, they've rather shot themselves in the foot with that one.
Yeah, because what they're saying is speed cameras are distracting drivers and are therefore dangerous.
Yeah, speed cameras, according to the government, are killing baby children and small puppy dogs. So, should we have a vote?
Yeah, let's have a... Do we
Who
all
thinks
agree?
all speed cameras should be removed?
Highways Agency, we agree with you. We support you.
100%.
100%
The
of us.
British population agree that they should all be taken down now. Good, that's that sorted out.
That's good.
I'd like to move on. I've got some very big and interesting conversation, actually. Peugeot have made an interesting car.
But they have.
Well, no, they have. I've got a picture of it here, look. It is called the E-Legend.
Oh, hang on.
It has 2 electric motors, it has 456 horsepower, and it is designed to look like the old Peugeot 504 Coupe.
Well, it doesn't.
No, they say it does. It does
It
a bit.
doesn't. It looks more like the 505 GTI, he said in a rather boring way, but it does.
I don't care what old car it looks a bit like. Look, it looks fantastic.
It
Look
does.
at
When
it.
can we buy it?
You can't.
Oh.
No, it's just a sort of concept car design study. What you can buy, though, right now is this.
Oh, God, really?
Yeah, that's called the Rifter. It's a sort of diesel van.
Oh, what is wrong with Peugeot?
It's a good
Why
question.
are they reminding us that they used to build some really very good-looking cars, and then we can only buy dreary crap like that?
It baffles me, because why would you make a concept car unless you can't buy it? When you go to a greengrocer, like this succulent, juicy apple, you don't have that one. We've got some mouldy ones in the back. But then, Peugeot, go to a greengrocer and see how they do business, and then learn from them. Now, a few months ago, right, there was a bit of a problem in Britain. Well, it's been going on actually for a year or more, where kids are getting on mopeds, riding down the pavement, another kid on the back, helping themselves to people's phones and old ladies' handbags and what have you, as they were going along.
Yeah, it's a big problem for the police, because in busy city streets, how do you chase a moped? You can't.
Well, exactly, no. However, the police came up with an idea that they thought would solve it, which was to basically ram the moped thieves, OK? You're recording? We've actually got footage of them doing just that here. Ready? Here he is, and blam! Yeah! There you go. And... Yay! That's what you need. Now, you see, we're all in favour of that, are we not?
Yeah.
It's the only time in my life I've ever wanted to be a policeman.
No, you can't.
Why?
You haven't got a moustache.
That's true.
No, but that's... OK, I have had an idea.
Oh, God, is it ridiculous?
Let me explain.
That's a yes, then it is.
Just let's see what everybody thinks. OK, so, best will in the world, the police are out patrolling, and they don't do much of that these days, as I'm sure we all know. But even if they were, the chances of them encountering somebody who really was a moped thief in a place where they could realistically knock them off is quite remote, yes?
Yes.
So how's this for an idea? All of us, as we're driving along in our cars, if you see a motorcycle, knock them off.
Wait, what, just any motorcycle?
Yes, because eventually somebody's bound to hit the right one and knock over a moped thief.
Hang on, isn't that a bit like Pol Pot executing anybody who wore glasses in case they'd read a book?
Yes, it is. Look, I admit, you two, I know you're not moped thieves, I know you're not, but you do ride motorcycles, and that's fine. And you are going to get, I have to admit, some hurty knees and a bit of grazing.
Oh, yes, and quite a lot of other people, including Ewan McGregor, Jamie
Yes.
Oliver,
Yeah.
Ross Noble. The hairy bikers, for God's sake. You can't knock them over.
Yes, I know, you say that, but they're just casualties of war, if you think about it. The main thing is that we are bound to totally end moped thievery, and we'd all have a good laugh at the same time. Come on, you would.
You can't ram bikers.
I'm not saying we ram them, a gentle nudge. Anybody here ride
sharing.
motorcycle?
Yes.
Do
Well
you?
done. Yes.
Sorry. Anyway, I think that's the end of Conversation Street,
I think
is it not?
we should
Yes,
end
it is.
Let's move it on. Now, this is a bit of a Ford-based show, because we were staggered to hear the other day that they're thinking of pulling the plug on the Mondeo.
Now, this is enormous news. In Britain, losing the Mondeo is a bit like, well, losing the royal family.
Yeah, and if that happened, someone would make a documentary about it.
Quite, which is why we decided this week the Grand Tour should make a documentary about the passing of Ford's medium-sized family saloon. It's exciting stuff. Can I just ask, how many people's dads here had Cortinas? Look at that.
Yeah.
That's an astonishing array, isn't it? Amazing.
Yes, it is. It makes me feel really... Just to put some perspective on this, Ford sold 2.6 million Cortinas. Austin sold 57,000 Allegro Estates. That's it.
It's a shame one of them was to your dad.
You're damn right. It ruined my life. Anyway, we shall pick up the Ford story later on, but now it is time for us to deploy the plastic bag of chat to scoop up some dog eggs of debate from the pavements of Conversation Street. I don't know. Whatever it was.
Now, actually, despite the incredible snazziness of those graphics, we don't actually have time for traditional Conversation Street this week.
No, we don't. Because we are engaged, as we said, in important documentary-making work.
We are, which is why I would like to talk about body-coloured bumpers.
I think you should.
Yes, I will, because in the old days, if you were driving up the motorway and a car came up behind you and they had bumpers the same colour as the car, and you only had black plastic bumpers, you knew you had to get out of the way.
Yeah, they were better than you.
Yeah, they were better than you because of that.
OK, what if you were driving up the motorway, looked in the rearview mirror, OK, and you saw the car behind had head restraints?
Honestly, head restraints, I used to look at those in the way people these days look at super yachts. They were simply unattainable. I mean, you could not have...
These are the symbols of rank. I mean, if you had a sunroof, you were an emperor.
What if it was an electric sunroof?
Oh, my God! You were probably from space. You were a space emperor.
Let me see if I can explain this in a language people under 40 understand, OK? It's the same as going for a job, OK? And your boss saying, we're going to give you a pay cut, but we're going to give you a phone. OK? And this phone you can use to make calls. And then, if you work really hard for a couple of years, we'll give you an iPhone L. And you can use that to make texts as well. And then if you stay with us for 30 years and you never put a foot wrong, you can have an iPhone GXL. Because that's what... I mean, I have no idea which one this is. I mean, is it a 7, an 8, a 9? I don't know.
No, you don't know. But the thing is, under 1970s rules, you would have known, because that would have had a great big chrome GXL badge on.
Yes, and a chrome strip round the outside and fog lights. Here, it
Yeah,
would.
exactly.
It would.
This is it. They were the badges of rank and everybody could see them, and that was the world we lived in.
My dad, right, when he had the 1600E, had a minor front-end biff in it, yes? The local Ford garage replaced the damaged grille with one from a 1600 Super. And my dad said, no, it doesn't matter. But it did! It's more important than the Vietnam War!
You were being publicly humiliated.
People are going, they haven't really got a 1600E. Look, there's chrome in it. It is a 1600E. You just put fog lights on it. We haven't. We've really got one, honestly.
These things mattered so much.
Oh, they really did.
Didn't you had a 1600E?
Oh, we did. No, 10 years after my dad sold his, I bought one.
Oh, well done. That was imaginative.
Wasn't my... Says the man whose first car was... Toyota Corolla?
It was a liftback, actually.
Yeah, but my 1600E, I modified it. Okay. I put a Debbie Harry badge in the middle of the steering wheel. Fur-lined doors, wolf race seats, and a chromed sports air filter, which I told my mates, that gives extra 40 horsepower, that doesn't it? Really. But I told all my mates it did.
Do you know what you did there?
What?
By fitting those extra bits, like the sports air filter, onto your car, you were effectively calling yourself Jeremy Clarkson OBE when you didn't have one.
Yes, with those fur-lined doors, you had interfered with the class system.
But let's not forget, shall we, you modified your Corolla by driving it into a Volvo.
Yeah, I did do that. I did do that. It was my first crash.
The first of many.
Yes, all right, yes.
Rather set the trend for your life,
Yes,
didn't it?
I got the hang of it.
Defining moment.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
all
like
right.
crashing.
Yes,
I'm going to make a
okay.
living out of this. Oh, there I go again.
And I did.
Oh, exactly. Oh, God.
Do you know, I've never actually owned a Ford.
What?
No.
It's like saying you've never owned your own pen.
I've never bought a stamp.
Yeah, I mean, even I have managed to own a Ford. After I left Birmingham, I moved on, and I had two, but sort of in the same car. The front of one and the back of the other joint. It was absolutely hopeless.
Were they the same colour?
Well, when I bought them, broadly similar, yes, they were.
Well, look, this is... Well, it's not really Conversation Street, is it?
No.
It's more Memory Lane.
Yeah.
But anyway, we now have to get back to the Cortina.
Yes, we do, because when it was killed off in 1982, Ford didn't give up on the idea of a multi-million selling medium-sized family saloon. They came up with a replacement. It was called the Sierra. Here is a picture of it. And to begin with, it was a bit of a lemon.
It was. When it came out, everybody said they hated its kind of futuristic aerodynamic shape. They said it looked horrid, like a jelly mould. And then everybody worked out the aerodynamics didn't even work.
Now, it turned out in a straight line it was fine, but when it got hit by a crosswind or it overtook a truck on the motorway, it would veer about like a drunk.
Yeah, another problem was the motor trade hated it because that plastic front end, if you had a crash, it would boing back into shape, which was all brilliant, but you didn't know that everything behind it was actually smashed to pieces.
Now, Ford decided there was only one way to get everybody to fall in love with its new mid-sized family saloon. It was something they'd done before. Make a fast version. I absolutely loved, I adored the Sierra Cosworth.
It was brilliant.
Fabulous.
Absolutely fabulous. But I need to do a bit more documentary work.
Yep, I think
See, the Cosworth wasn't the most important thing about the Sierra. The most important thing was the Sierra changed the Labour Party.
Really?
It genuinely did. A young Tony Blair was out canvassing one day, saw a man washing his Sierra on the drive, sort of went up to him, and the Labour Party policy back then, as now actually, was to get the man out of his car and back where he belonged on a bus, yes? Yes. Tony Blair realised this guy didn't want to go on a bus, he wanted a better Sierra, faster Sierra with headrests. So he went away and he created New Labour as a result of that conversation.
And then started an illegal war.
Well,
He did.
He did. He did. He did do those two things,
should
yes.
we get back to the car?
Yeah, good idea, because we must now find out how fast the... Let's see if I can still pronounce it properly. The Cosworth.
Yeah, I still
Yeah,
got
that's
it.
good.
That's it, yeah.
The Cosworth. You know what I mean, the Cosworth. Let's see how fast it goes around the Ebola drome. Anyway, let's see now how quickly Abby got it round the Ebola drome, shall we? Let's find out the time. Oh, quicker than I thought. What?
Well, it's faster than a Lamborghini.
I told you that thing was slow. It's actually slower than a Ford Sierra. But the interesting thing for me there is it's quicker than a Ford Fiesta ST 200, and they both have the same power, don't they? About 200 horsepower.
It did, yeah. I think what that goes to show is, despite all the improvements in suspension and tyres, you can't beat fitting something with a sodding great turbo. A massive turbo does the job.
Anyway, can I get back to our documentary?
Yes,
Yes,
do.
because in 1993, Ford stopped making the Sierra and decided instead to export the idea that had revolutionised Britain to the whole world.
What they came up with was something they called a world car. Something not just for everyone here, but for everyone everywhere.
They called it the Mondeo, and it achieves something that no car in history has ever managed. Over the years, Richard, James and I have driven almost every car ever made. We've waxed lyrical about many of them, drooling over their styling, or their handling, or the way they make the roots of our penises fizz. But incredibly, there is only one car that we all like. This one, the Mondeo ST Estate. Let's be clear, there are lots of cars we all don't like.
Yeah, yes.
Nissan Juke.
Hate it. The Beetle.
Good one on the Beetle, we all hate that.
Nissan Qashqai.
Yes,
Yeah,
hate
that's
that.
a good one.
Audi Q5.
No, don't like that.
And
All
the,
hate that.
and the Q7.
And the
in fact.
Q7,
Yeah.
we all
hate that.
Jaguar
Yes.
X-Type.
Yeah, we all
We all
hate
hated
that.
that. The new Land Rover Discovery.
Yes.
Yeah.
BMW X3.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Mini Countryman.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Hey.
We all hate that. So we've established there are many cars we all don't like, but cars we do like,
There's this.
there's this.
What about the Subaru Legacy Outback?
Well, yeah, but the front diff's rubbish. You can't go around a corner when you're going slowly, so it's a bit annoying.
So it is just this.
Yeah.
This is it. Do you know what I liked? It's the fast version, but it was still comfortable. These seats were great. It still rides properly. It doesn't make a terrible racket. It's just civilised.
I liked the way it was a proper practical estate. It had a massive boot, and Ford had the sense to give it 5 doors,
Yeah.
which is something Austin didn't think of with the Allegro.
No, that is true. I like the speed.
Oh, there's a surprise.
V6 engine, 200 horsepower. 0-67 seconds, top speed 150. It didn't look it, but this was as quick as a Cosworth. And when they turned it into the ST220 in 2002, it looked right as well. They should have sold these by the million. But there was a problem. This. The first so-called MPV, the Toyota Picnic. In 1996, when it was first introduced, we laughed at it because it seemed so stupid.
I mean, why name a car after something you might do in it? Picnic.
Oh, they didn't have a Toyota dentist, did they?
The Honda pop to the shops. It's just an ordinary act. It's not even exciting.
The Volkswagen dogging.
It's just, it's just a naff thing to do.
It cost the same as a Mondeo. It was just a bit taller.
Yeah, it's in case your head suddenly grows tall.
Was there a fashion for wearing Victorian industrialist hats at the time?
No, there wasn't.
Well, there's no excuse for it then.
There was, why would you, unless you've actually got a Busby glued to
your
the
head.
top of your head.
There is no other reason. And what troubles me is think of the damage this did to children. Come out and see the new car, kids. It's
It's a big
that. That's our car. It's hateful.
It's dismal.
It's got big windows so people will see me in it.
It actually says family fun vehicle on it.
It doesn't. What's fun about it?
It isn't more fun.
We thought, when it first came along, that it would be a fad like culottes or deep-fried brie or Crocs or tattoos. Something where you think, well, that's fun, and then realise 5 minutes later that it's actually ridiculous. But no, this idiotic tall car idea actually started to catch on. In 1994, they sold 127,000 Mondeos in Britain. In 2017, that was down to 12,000. And 85% of those 12,000 were fleet sales, hire car companies and the police. And that means only 1,900 Mondeos were sold to private buyers.
Yeah, people actually went and bought one.
Yeah, 1,900.
Wow.
And if you think about it, Ford has 500 dealers in Britain, yeah?
Yeah.
Each of those will have taken 2 Mondeos a year.
Oh, God, yeah, as
As
demonstrations.
demonstrators,
Yes,
yeah.
So really we are...
900 you're talking about.
900 people actually said, I'll buy one of those with my money.
Yeah, 900 people. When they used to sell 127,000 of them a year.
That's an astonishing...
I know. In America, things are so bad, the Mondeo will be pulled from the showrooms this year. It's very sad, and it's not the only British motoring institution that's coming to an end. We are. This is not just the last in the series. I mean, sorry, it's the show as you know it is actually ending with, you know, the track, audience, us three, and really badly fitting jackets every week. Well, this is the last one.
It is. It is. And it's sad, but we have been doing it together for 17 years.
16.
OK, you were late.
Sorry.
But nevertheless, we do feel the time has come to move on.
Yeah.
Yeah. The problem for us is we can't make an announcement as momentous as that and then just walk out of the tent.
We haven't half had some laughs.
Well, I mean, it was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's all just brilliant. I mean, I'm just going back in my head, there's the cow on the Camaro,
Yeah.
the indestructible Toyota,
Yeah.
Oliver.
Yeah.
Beach buggies across the dunes.
Yeah.
I mean, that was...
Driving down that ski, I was in there, driving down the ski slope in Colorado. That was one of the best things I've ever done.
Yeah.
My horse mating with your horse whilst we were both still.
Oh, that's nice, yeah.
Him falling off his horse.
Him falling off his motorcycle.
Endlessly, that was always funny. And the great thing was, in all of the years we've worked together, every single time one of us fell over, there was never any sympathy. We just burst into laughter straight away. He hurt himself!
A whole 17 years of your mates not giving a shit.
So, well, anyone out there got fond memories? Yeah, well, James hitting his head in Syria, that was hilarious.
At least I can't remember.
What?
Yeah,
endlessly caravans. No, the disintegrating caravan. It just goes on.
Spitfires.
Sitting in a Spitfire, looking at your two mates,
God,
also in
yeah.
Spitfires, was just...
Oh, yeah,
Vietnam.
God, I hated Vietnam.
I liked it.
I mean, I liked Vietnam, I just didn't like being on a motorcycle. Well, we've done Italian supercars. I mean, there isn't an Italian
the cheap
supercar.
ones, we did the
the
cheap
cheap ones, I know, and I blew the Maserati's big end right through the windscreen
Yes.
of your Lamborghini.
You literally threw
was
an
the
engine at me.
Yeah, I did literally throw an engine at his head.
It's all been epic. Don't stop.
What?
Don't stop. Carry on.
Well, we do have some good news. We do have some good news. We're not.
Oh.
We're not stopping.
We can't, we'd have to get jobs.
No, we're not actually stopping.
No, I mean, the truth is, Amazon loves us. We love Amazon, so we'll carry on a bit.
Yeah, we'll stick around. The thing is, as I said, the show as you know it is ending, and that's very upsetting for us. You know, the audience and and this sort of thing and the track. But who'd like to see us doing more big adventures? Yeah. Road trips, specials. Who wants to do specials? Yeah.
Thing is, there is.
Thank you.
There's still so much of the world we haven't been to.
So many people I haven't insulted.
So, there are so many cars he hasn't crashed.
Yeah, exactly. So, although this is gone, the Grand Tour goes on. It goes on. It goes on.
We are going to need walking sticks and nothing.
No, we are.
We are.
So while it's not goodbye from us, it is goodbye from this. Anyone want to buy a tent? See you. Take care.
soon.
Take care.